when it comes to 5-month-old Xavier.
You are the father.
Tom, you are not.
Jane, don't leave. What you put me through? Put me through this. You better go check them other people, not me. Now, can I get an apology?
Oh, yes.
My name is Gary Beekler, and this is the Scooter Slam.
My name is X-Ray Girl, and this is the Tokyo Tumble.
My name is Ryan Kendall, and this is the Vanishing Haggis.
We so bored, don't with your discourse. We so bored, don't with your discourse. We so bored, don't with your discourse. We so bored, don't discourse.
My people cried in fear to finding relief.
Holla.
White people cry so they can see us as human beings. They recognize propaganda they spew.
I am black.
And try to weaponize everything that we do.
I'ma tell you something. They spin and woke, bastardize it, appreciate it.
It says appropriate it, not appreciate it.
Appreciate it, appropriated, whatever. Speak truth to power. Keep an eye out. Not fodder for your clickbait. Speaking of which, journalists, did you forget it's your job to provide the truth?
We so bored, don't with your discourse. We so bored, don't with your discourse. We so bored, don't with your discourse. We so bored, don't discourse.
What's up? Invading your spaces since 2019. It's Friday Night Tights.
Those intros caught me off guard. The disappearing.
After seeing that music video, I definitely want to play Vanishing Haggis with Ryan.
Listen, all I know is I've been having problems masturbating since that video of Ryan as Amanda Stenberg has been arched into my brain now. I can't I've actually masturbated more. Nah, dude, I can't. It's fucked with me big time. Like
That's all right, dude.
It's a greater challenge, Jeremy, but it's a greater accomplishment at the end of this.
Jeremy, don't worry. There's
another
more
satisfying.
Jeremy, don't worry. There's another Trump rally around the corner. Your groove will come back. You'll get your mojo back, baby.
Ryan's like, why am I suddenly into black women? I can't put my finger on it.
That's true.
Or can you?
I think one of the funniest parts about, obviously, there's been a little bit going on Twitter over the past couple days. People that failed in another attempt to get us deplatformed and demonetized. But one of the funniest parts was in the
the 1.5 minute long video or whatever is supposedly supposed to show us at our worst. One of the clips they showed was that, like, Amanda Stenberg rap with Ryan Face over it. That's just one of the most offensive and terrible things we've done. I would say apply that same energy to Amanda Stenberg, you know, because it was very offensive.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for like really good stuff to make us look bad, there's a channel called Nerdrotic Daily. If you go over there, there's a lot of clips over there. So,
I play Terry.
Much better material
on a daily basis.
Much better material over there on that channel.
We're our own worst enemy.
Yeah,
believe
it's
me.
curated for you.
Yeah, that is one of those things. It's like you have all this time, all this energy, all this effort put into this coordinated, targeted attack. These are the best quotes you found.
Let us help you. Let us help you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it's like you guys actually don't watch. Okay, got it.
It's like, okay, here's the beginner's guide to FNT bigotry.
I can't believe they included a quote from me. And I was like, we have Ryan on the show. You got this plethora of material. And okay.
You'll make it next time, Shad.
You will.
You'll get in the hit
And
piece.
we'll get into it. We're also going to talk about the Rings of Power episode 2. Somebody was on Twitter was shocked that we talked about the Rings of Power episodes 1 through 3 for 2 hours, saying that this is something that's recent. And you're not wrong. We've only been doing it for the last 6 years. So, I mean, welcome to the show.
3
I
hours.
think it's like 2 hours. Have you guys seen EFAP before? Like, they'll cover it for like 15 hours straight, man.
That's problematic.
It is. So we'll talk about that. There's Beetlejuice. There's some George R.R. Martin stuff. And whatever on Rumble. But first, I want to introduce our good friend. We got to stop meeting like this, by the way. People are going to start to talk. The Critical Drinker.
A pleasure to be here as always, Gary.
It's great to see you again. We were just on Piers, where we didn't talk about Star Wars at all, which was funny. We talked about Oasis, though.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we did. This episode is sponsored by, and listen, this is a perfect product for the male Acolyte fans. Little low T. Little low T. So I'm going to recommend this specifically to Star Wars YouTubers who like the Acolyte, who identify as male. Okay, we'll just say that. Be naked. In today's society, it's tough to be a man in a world and bust your ass being a Star Wars fan for 5 years, dominated by overly masculine liberal women. That's ruined your Star Wars. That's just not how it's meant to be. Everywhere we look, it's gender neutral this product, or made for her, that product. That is why we started a company that embodies the ethos of men's lives matter to make Star Wars male again. With products that aren't designed to be gender neutral or used by people with pronouns, or products at Rumble or Raylos are designed and built for men by men, period. Except for Raylos. So if you struggle with low energy, liking the Acolyte, mood swings, or hair loss, or defending the Acolyte, God damn it, I just lost it. Garrett?
You can do this, Gary. Bring it back. It's okay.
Making a petition for the Acolyte, or if you need to perform better at the gym, or in the case of the Acolyte male fans, going to the gym at all, maybe in bed, well, that's not even considered there, or recovering quick after, throw out all the other garbage supplements and try animal organs. They are traditionally the most nutrient-rich supplements on the planet, but our bison organs are a step above. Their grass-fed, non-vaccinated bison are a species where the weak are allowed to die and only the strongest survive. So here is our commitment to you from men who have real confidence in their products. Try this today. Go to benaked.com/Nerdrotic, code Nerdrotic, and get 15% off to try our products and get hooked on the power of bison. Thank you.
Bison testicles here right now.
Right now.
For Acolyte fans, I would suggest the bison cock. That is your preferred organ. So it is available at an extra charge.
Good job, Gary. You read all the words. Mostly.
Yeah. We got through it. So it's been an interesting week. Really has been. And this is, third month in a row that they some form or another is coming after one of us in one way or another. It's mostly Ryan, by the way. This one's more of a copy and paste. But yeah, I was just looking back, and it's like, oh, my channel is under attack from a couple of months ago. I got one from last month, and now we got one from this month. I get mentioned, and they don't even mention me much within the manifesto at all. They just threw my name up there. They left Drinker out for some reason. What's going on there?
I don't know how I dodged this bullet, man.
Little sus.
It does seem like Jeremy and myself were the main targets of this specific letter, and Gary was a target because you platform us. And the only thing I had against Jeremy was the fact that it was from like 2017 or something.
I'm gonna have to make a confession. It was actually me who orchestrated both. I'm trying to get rid of me, Austin.
They have this whole they're still stuck in like the 2018 2019 mindset, and they still have this they don't watch any of our shit. They still have that like the outside perception of like 2018 2019 that Geeks and Gamers is like the biggest channel in the sphere, even though like they literally can see when they show Gary's subscribers that it's a bigger channel, but they still have that perception that like Geeks and Gamers is the 2018 Geeks and Gamers.
Well, they're talking about Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking retarded,
Yeah, it was
man.
like some weird time warp. That
It was.
Yeah, I was like,
As soon as I saw that, obviously for people that do not know, was it Tuesday that this happened? Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Sorry, was it Wednesday?
It was Wednesday.
Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. A flood of, and I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tweets. This is clearly pre-planned out and organized and coordinated. Started pushing out with the very same verbiage. Hey, YouTube, you need to do something to demonetize Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, and Ryan Kinnell. Hate cannot be allowed to profit or something. Like that was pretty much what all of them were. And they had two pieces of paper right here. They literally put references in their meme to try to get us demonetized, alleging what's going on and the facts and the actions that we're requiring you to take. And this took a lot of like coordination. But the first fucking paragraph, they start talking about Milo Yiannopoulos in Ghostbusters 2016. And I'm thinking to myself,
wow,
the only people I've ever heard talk about that are those rewriting Ripley fucks.
Yep.
Right. They tried to cancel us with a very similar campaign, although not as widespread, 3.5 years ago. And turns out at 9:59 Eastern, 1 minute before this flood of action from them came out, they tweeted another video edited together trying to get us demonetized. They were definitely a part of this entire campaign. And it took about 24 hours. They thought that maybe we can actually get a win. We've had a lot of losses as Acolyte fans because, you know, we don't know what our gender is. There's a chance that 41% of my friends won't be around next year. We couldn't get the Acolyte renewed, right? All of these things. Only took 24 hours of them thinking they could possibly get a victory before Team YouTube came in and said, we hear you. We see your concerns. Go fuck yourself. They haven't done anything wrong.
You know, Rewriting Ripley had a really bizarre response to that. Yeah, I think it's underneath that one where they say something like, you don't understand. We haven't requested to have select videos removed. We simply want a handful of YouTube channels to be demonetized.
Yeah,
we didn't want the guy to be spanked. We just wanted to nuke a few countries. It's like,
all we do is take the livelihood away from people. And like their rationale seemed to be like, well, if you're not making money off it, then we'll see who the real fans are, because you're just going to have to talk about it and not make anything from it. It's like, well, okay, do you understand that like some people, like being a YouTuber is their actual employment? Like that's how they pay the bills.
It's wild.
And also, guess what? All of us at one point were not making money on YouTube.
For a long time.
All of us at one point, some longer than others, were not making any money on YouTube. Started as a hobby, started as whatever, to talk about things that we cared about. And then over time, for different people, that eventually became a way that you could talk about what you care about and also make a living.
Hey,
but, like that tweet is also like completely inaccurate, because no one in the Star Wars fandom is asking for select videos to be removed. Oh, yes, they are.
Yes,
One thing we found out in this is the dozens and dozens of people who admitted when Team YouTube would reply to them, tagging them, that they've been reporting all of our videos and all of our streams for years and years and years, yet YouTube continues to do nothing. So that's just straight up lie that no one
It must be great, like
reporting our videos.
YouTube must have like just a blacklist of like users. Like whenever you get like a a cancellation request or a violation or whatever, like from them, they'll just be like, oh, these guys are fucking lunatics. Just ignore them. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to imagine there's some type of thing in their system where they've gotten so many reports on channels that and the channel has been cleared as many times. They're like, okay, we don't even need to look into this because this is part of the mob mentality. But yeah, if you look at like when you get in there and they start breaking down like the horrible things we've done, and it was just so easy to just destroy their argument with that Rose Tico narrative that they created back in 2018. Geeks and Gamers led the harassment campaign of Kelly Marie Tran. Show the video. Show the video.
Yeah, because I saw the video you made about this. Like, you had the receipts where you like went back in time to your videos at that period, and you were straight up praising Kelly Marie Tran and saying like she seems like a really nice person. Don't harass her. It's such a shame what's happened.
And it just goes to show that no matter how, and I just dropped the link in the chat of another video I found where I went out of my way because they used, I think this is where they got some of those quotes that they put in there, but they changed the quotes up a little bit. But this is the video that I think they got those quotes, and look what they left out.
That Rose Tico is a bad character. Rose Tico is an objectively bad character. Rose Tico is one of the worst characters in the history of Star Wars. That doesn't mean anything negative towards Kelly Marie Tran. I think Kelly Marie Tran is great. I think she's a very sweet person. And I think she deserves far better. Rose Tico didn't deserve better, but Kelly Marie Tran definitely deserved better.
And well, why wouldn't they include that video clip in their claims that Geeks and Gamers led a harassment campaign against Kelly Marie Tran?
Wow.
It's amazing how they didn't put that clip, but they took. I'm pretty sure because I've made about 15 videos featuring her, and I'm pretty sure that that's where they took the quotes that they put, and they switched up the quotes a little bit because that's where it got from, and they just left out all the other context.
And at the end of the day, what they were saying was that there are comments on Kelly Marie Tran's Instagram that are similar to comments in the Geeks and Gamers video comments section. And that's why you should be demonetized.
Because we have full control over our comment sections, right? Yeah.
We all know. And of course, like we need to keep in mind as well, we are personally responsible for what each and every one of our subscribers says and does on.
Due to our mind controlling powers.
Yeah.
Listen,
Jeremy,
some of the
did your
replies.
voice get deeper, Jeremy?
It did sound.
I have a.
Went through a second puberty.
That was.
We are older now.
There is these magical things called USB microphones versus XLR microphones, and that was
only voted for Trump one time.
That's before he went full MAGA, and then he became a man.
One of the replies to the Kyle Katarn asshole, which he blocked me, and I never interacted with this guy, but one of the replies was, well, you know what? Kyle's just trying to make the Star Wars community just a little safer. Safer? Dude, if he succeeded, okay, if he removed every single one of you guys, all of us, there's still going to be assholes out there. There's still going to be people that disagree with you, Kyle.
That's the
There's
thing, but
people
then
that don't like that shit.
They'll have to be then made safe from them, because what they really want to be is safe from any kind of dissenting opinions. Anyone who has a slightly different opinion than them about Star Wars. And can you imagine if they actually got their way, if like they lived in this utopia that they're striving towards, where all you have is people just mindlessly praising Disney Star Wars? The 5 or so people that are left who actually like it.
Yeesh.
Where's what kind of discussions are you going to have? Where's the fan base? Where's the interest? Where's the different ideas that get exchanged? There wouldn't be any
fights.
Those 5 or so people, though, would have the entire audience, which I think is a significant part of what it's like. Because all of this stuff comes from a place of envy, and it's literally, if I get rid of this, they'll see how great I am, and they'll all come and watch me, and that's it. So all the content creators, a lot of it's jealousy, and what tactic they do with this, they have no intention of you doing, like they would have known the rest of that clip existed, but they don't want to create a full image. They want to create a narrow image that YouTube can look at and just go, it's not worth the effort. Loads of people are tweeting out, just get rid of them. That's what they hope. And then they'll have all
doesn't
the
really
views
work like that,
go somewhere.
unfortunately.
Well,
Not anymore.
though.
Yeah, they don't want
living in a
conversation.
bygone age.
Yeah, that's the problem. They don't want the conversation because if you think about how they're really coming at this from a Marxist ideology, right? They just want to shut down any dissent whatsoever. Whereas I could bring up the prequels and we could have a very hearty debate over whether the prequels are good or not on this panel because we actually invite discourse. We actually invite conversation, whereas they just want to shut it all down.
Well, I think because that stems from the idea that like you can argue your case and say like, well, I think TLJ is the worst thing to happen to Star Wars in all of its history, and I can give you like 100 different reasons why. Like if they want to argue against that, fine, let's have a discussion. But they can, and so ultimately they would rather just silence me and have my channel like nuked from YouTube, rather than have to engage with my arguments. And it'd be the same for anyone else on this.
And
panel
the very
as well.
sad thing would be if that happened, which it won't. It wouldn't help them at all. It wouldn't help them at all. I invite these Star Wars channels. I invite them all. We can talk anytime, but I invite them all who have been there first, who have been covering Star Wars. Probably, I don't know how long Star Wars Explain has been around, and I don't know nothing about it. I've never interacted with these people, but I invite them all to go into your little YouTube studio, and there's a little switch that says monetization, and you can turn it off and talk about Star Wars all fucking day long. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Hey, that Kyle Katarn guy said he was willing to give up his $72 in ad revenue he makes every month if all Star Wars channels can be demonetized. What a brave and stunning soul he is. Hero, absolute hero.
Ultimately, like YouTube is the perfect marketplace of ideas, just like social media. Like, well, when Twitter is unbiased and it's not getting like artificially like thumb on the scales, and ultimately our ideas find way more purchase than the blind toxic positivity of everything that Disney Star Wars make is perfect. Don't criticize it in the slightest.
Yeah. Okay, if you don't want to see a bunch of negative stuff around a show that you like, then just watch other stuff. Don't watch our stuff.
To the Star Wars channels, feel free to say no to Lucasfilm when they offer to fly you out to talk to former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland. That word exists in our language, and you can use it all the time. You don't need to see the screeners early. You don't need to be invited to the red carpet. These are things you can just simply not do and still talk about Star Wars.
Because getting all this stuff, like even having like an exclusive first look at the next like Star Wars TV show or whatever, no one's going to watch your fucking channel because no one cares about any of these things anymore.
Exactly. I want to put a clarification out there because this is something that we've been criticized on a lot. So I think there's more context that needs to be given. When we refer to Leslie Headland as Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, the reason we do that is because she's Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant. That is why we do it. There was the new Rockstars video was like, these guys bring up the fact that she was an assistant at the Weinstein Company. Like, no, she was literally the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. That is been documented. It's documented on mainstream websites. And so that's why we say it. So I just wanted to give that clarification.
Yeah. That's why she wrote the play.
It's always worth keeping it in mind, like forgive, but do not ever forget.
Yeah, and we don't know 100% what all of her tasks were, right? We're not sure whether she held the door shut while the women were trying to escape. We don't know if she went out and bought the Rohypnol to give to Harvey before this happened. Like, there's a lot of questions as to exactly what her role
don't know
was.
these things. These are things we don't know.
You know all of it.
And we've never pretended to know those details, by the way. We will
never know.
We're not saying it's true.
We have never pretended to know the specific details. Thank you, Ryan, for that clarity, because we've only just stated the overall that she was the former personal assistant, not the specifics.
Didn't she also pen a stage play, which
she
was based
did.
around a personal assistant to some monstrous producer, and then painted the assistant as the true victim in all of this?
Yes.
Wow.
And in the new Rockstars video, they tried to make it out like she did that in an act of bravery.
So brave,
they did.
So brave to excuse your past actions.
It's so brave to sit in the adjoining hotel room and listen to this women are fucking raped, and then come out a couple years later and say something.
When did she
She's
come
the
out?
victim, though. She is.
Did she even speak up and expose him at any point until after it all came
No.
out?
Nobody did.
Chad, you don't understand. That would mean putting her own ass on the line, and there ain't no fucking way she's going to do something like that.
And by the way, Hollywood
Meryl Streep
producer
and all those other A-list actors who knew about this stuff to speak out against him when he was still powerful and he could still pull strings and he could still end careers. None of them were going to take that risk.
No.
And that happened at the
criticism
BBC
is,
when Savile came out, and a load of people said, "Well, we knew all along." It's like, hang on, you knew? What? Why did you not say anything? And that loads of people outed themselves as "we knew," and then they had to backtrack and say, "Well, we didn't
Seth
actually know."
MacFarlane joked about it in his show in Family Guy and joked about it at an award show.
Right. If you
They're all
guys have
complicit.
Open
Go
secret.
ahead, Chad. Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, I'm just saying that just makes them all complicit.
Yes.
They knew and they said nothing about it. They were enabling it to happen. And the person that must have been enabling it more than anyone else might have been the personal assistant. You know, just maybe.
But that's right. But if anyone has an issue, and look, we're all for inclusivity. We care about your feelings. So if anyone has any issues with Ryan's language, we'd like to direct you to the FNT PR firm at Kennel Ryan on Twitter. Let him know your problems, and he will handle all of your concerns. So he will take care of it. So thank you, Ryan.
They will be addressed in a timely manner.
He's there to listen. He's there to listen.
We hear your concerns.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, I don't know what Leslie's tasks were, but speaking as a former assistant to a pretty high-ranking person in the media, sort of Hollywood world, film, TV, etc., you know pretty much everything that's going on. You read their emails. You sometimes have to respond to their emails. You set up all their meetings. You know who they're talking to. I can't imagine she didn't know exactly what was going on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why I reckon she actually has the position she does, and she was even given the opportunity to do something for Acolyte. I reckon not only that, she has dirt on all the people that, you know, had certain exchanges with Weinstein back in the day, or might have been enjoying the parties as well. And because she doesn't have any talent, look at what she made. She made the friggin' Acolyte.
I think a lot of this stuff, like her experiences, then get reflected in her art. And I'm going to use the term art quite loosely here, but like when you get the Acolyte, you've got the leader of the lesbian space witches mind raping a young impressionable guy who's crying while no one else can see what's going on. Yeah,
right. What you know,
Leslie, eh?
She's the good guy.
Yeah,
right. What you know.
And then one of the women murders her like adopted father. And the only complaint they have about it is that it was benign sexism, that he didn't suffer enough as she was killing him. It was one of the most wild interviews I've seen.
She identifies with the Sith. Unironically.
We've seen this narrative start in the Access media. I think it was Inverse and others were talking about right after the Acolyte was canceled. It was due to toxic fans. That thread on me a month ago talked about invading spaces. This thread talked about invading spaces. And this isn't the first time we've heard about this. So they're reusing each other's language. Sure, it looks pretty coordinated. And this last one was. Absolutely was. But ultimately, it's because this, I've said it before, this is Kathleen Kennedy's Disney Star Wars in its final form. This is exactly what she wanted. This script made her cry. She wanted to make this more than anything. They were really proud of this one, and it was an absolute failure. And Ryan is right. All the Acolyte had fans, and they all showed up, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah. I do wonder as though on social media, like so many of the people who are mad about this, I don't think they cared about the Acolyte itself. They cared about what it represented.
Yes.
They cared about the political cause that it represented. They cared about the values that it preached. That was what mattered to them. And they knew this was a high-profile loss. One way or another, it was a loss to their cause. And it was a rejection of the values that they hold at the core of their very beings. And so when you get that, when you have people whose entire sense of self, their entire world and their entire sense of identity is tied to their political beliefs, and the entire world overwhelmingly rejects, and not just rejects, but outright mocks and belittles that, the reaction is understandable. Then it is a backlash then against that. It is, no, you cannot possibly do this to me, and they want to lash out any way that they can. And it's hilarious because they've got completely no power whatsoever, but it's nice to see them try.
Yeah, especially when their opinions come from like a social consensus. They have this opinion because they think it's the dominant one in society. So having something like this where it turns out actually you're the small group. You've been talking about how everyone else is a fringe voice, but you are. It actually triggers like psychic pain. It is literally like a mental attack on you. And the only way, like the best defense to protect your ego, and that's because you can do a lot of work to convince yourself of the other ideas, or you can just carry on the pretense and attack, which is, you know, the best form of defense.
Yeah, did you see that tweet that was doing the rounds just a couple of weeks back, where it was like studies that had shown that apparently like men who are attracted to like left-wing ideas, socialism, that sort of thing, tend to be weak-willed.
Yes. Well, it's a weak ideology, and so you get power from being a victim. It attracts victims.
Yeah, and so the premise though was basically that like they they don't even necessarily believe anything deep down. They just go with what they think the consensus is, because they are fundamentally weak people
governed by
that
their
they can't-
feelings. You know,
there's a
but they
video I
can't-
watched.
but like they're not brave enough to defend their points of view against outright criticism.
No.
And so like they would
that
rather
would be
just
dangerous.
go with what they
It's-
think the consensus is, and they will stick with that, and then they believe that that's what everyone else thinks. So they then base their identity around that, and the idea then that they might be wrong just short.
it would shatter their soul. It would shatter their soul. It's easier to believe the lie than face the truth.
I watched this video by this guy, Heel versus Baby. I don't know who he is.
Who?
Never heard of him.
But he had an
Some
interesting
dead guy.
point.
Let's not shout out low tier YouTubers.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm sorry. My bad. I just had to give him credit.
We need to make sure he's never said anything racist or sexist.
Yeah,
okay?
we need to vet him.
before we can talk about that.
We don't
But
want any blowback on this show, okay? We're
Yeah.
trying to stay out of
there
controversy.
might be a little bit though. He made this point, a great point, where all of the things that these people are saying that in this group, it seems like, it feels like they were told by Lucasfilm, because they've all been to Lucasfilm. The new Rockstars video shows a lot of these same people at Lucasfilm.
My
talking
favorite
to
part
them.
of that video, sorry to interrupt, Gary.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that video is like, we're not shills. And then he
And then it
shows,
cuts.
and it cuts to him sitting down with Leslie Headland.
But it very much seems like
they're being
like
given
Star Wars.
flags and stuff. Like,
Star Wars
They
is
get
the
paid
one.
in access, but that's not true. Let's move on.
Well,
but it seems like very much like Star Wars is the one saying, hey, you're the community leaders. You guys are the ones of the fandom. You have to get out here and start telling people not to be toxic and be all positive about everything. That's what it feels like. And that goes to their head. And they go, yeah, we are the community. That's us. But
That's why I
it's
hate
not.
that word.
It's everyone.
Community.
It's not just the guys that like it. It's everyone.
I mean, Aiden Paladin has a video kind of exposing Rewriting Ripley, and she exposes that they have direct connections with people at Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And so I would not put it past them that this was actually encouraged, if not just full-blown requested or controlled by Lucasfilm, getting Rewriting Ripley to be there, you know.
And I'll even say this. It doesn't even have to be directly orchestrated. It could just be the environment that they are in, where they're brought into this place and they're talked and they're gassed up and then of course they're going to go out and go, oh, the Lucasfilm's so great. I met all the people. They're really cool and they're so nice and they care about the lore and they care about Star Wars. Let's just be positive. And then it creates this us versus them when people don't agree with that.
We've literally had Dustborn, where one of the superpowers was cancellation, because you can cut
It
people
is
off
in
from
their
their friends and
ideology.
expel them from society, and then they'll be alone and vulnerable. So I don't go along with the fact that it was just all natural, because there's two essentially evolutionary survival techniques. You can either be big and strong and sort of you take control of your own world and you control it, or you can be weak and vulnerable, and then you get a group of people where everybody likes each other and all agrees, and then if anyone attacks them, you can all go together and survive. That's what they do. But
called
if
a
you
cult.
want to be in the group, you have to agree on every single thing, otherwise they oust you and you survive. And those two survival strategies are literally masculine and feminine. The men went out and hunted, and so they had to be strong and dominant, and they had to get on with each other. Whereas the collective strategy goes through like rearing babies. When the men are away, you can all collect to each other and help each other in that society. So over each other, as society is feminized, you end up with people using that and attacking others to try and kick them out in the desperate hope to
What
protect
Disparu's trying to say is y'all a bunch of bitches. Okay, that's what he's trying to say. And you need to be
for
naked.
yourselves. Stop being such assholes.
It also explains they're the same people that like to cede authority, right? And the problem is that eventually, when no one wants to take that power, when no one wants to actually be in charge, you'll have the people in charge that really shouldn't be.
The bottom line, if our channels get demonetized today, the Acolyte still sucks.
Yep.
It's not coming back, and we still have an audience that's going to support us wherever we go.
Yeah.
End of discussion. So there's literally nothing you can do that will change the fact that the Acolyte sucks. And it's not getting a
I
second
think
season.
this is probably a weird brick wall that they've run into, though. 'Cause
Yes.
they're probably so used to being able to cancel people, to like complain and shout and screech loud enough that action gets taken. And now we've reached a point in our culture, especially on the internet, where that doesn't work anymore. It's been overused and abused to the point where no one believes you when you accuse people of being every ist and phobe under the sun. It's been done a million times. No one believes it anymore. No one takes any action on it. And your complaints mean fucking nothing.
Absolutely.
They already escalated it to the moon.
And
It
they
used to
can't
be
handle it.
cyberbullying.
No.
And now it's harassment.
Well,
then it was like physical attacks and safety.
We're all moving past it. They keep bringing it up. So here's the deal. Ultimately, the Acolyte failed because not enough people watched it, and Disney has a formula, and it was canceled. It was canceled because it was terrible. The reason it went nuclear on the internet is because it's a culmination of events. It was the final act of a thesis that's been going on since The Last Jedi that you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos on that will tell you exactly what happened to Disney Star Wars, why it's the biggest intellectual property failure of all time, run by Kathleen Kennedy. And it was the end, and that's it. It's whatever they're doing, they're starting to turn things around. I heard Ryan talking on Daily today about they're only doing one Star Wars show next year. Yeah, they need to slow shit down, regroup, and figure things. I say vault it for 10 years. But ultimately, it wasn't just the Acolyte. There was years of stuff building up to this, and it was a lot of people in the fandom realizing that, oh yeah, it has sucked for the last 10 years. Aside from a couple of rare exceptions, it has been complete garbage, and not just garbage, not normal bad. Normal bad would be fine. I can actually find good things in a normal bad movie. No, it's bad movies, bad TV shows based on bad decisions that aren't good storytelling decisions that create this foundation of shit, of absolute shit that comes from the personal message and this belief that Star Wars needs to be more female than male instead of just being what it is. And Disney fucked this up from the get-go, from the absolute get-go. And it's a testament to the strength of this brand that it lasted this long. Anything else would have been fucking shit canned a long time ago.
None of these people put this much effort into saving Willow, so quite frankly, I don't care.
I think you guys are just one swag bag away from changing your minds. You'll see.
Yeah,
sure.
What's in that swag bag?
Honestly, I would love to have a sit-down interview with Leslie Headland.
That would be fantastic.
And the thing is, I wouldn't even be combative. I wouldn't be an asshole about it. I would genuinely have some honest questions for her about her thought process behind this show and how she feels like it turned out.
Man, I'm not sure where you'd get with that, because listening to some of the interviews, she thinks it's the highest form of art ever made.
She said it's hers. Her best piece of art.
She wants to take a crack at Bond, guys. That's her white
ask
whale.
her questions like, so if you've got a character like like Osha, who changes her mind like multiple times in the space of a single episode about what she's going to do, like what's your thinking behind that? Do you think that's good writing? Just curious. Like, how do you explain it?
Drinker, there's an interview. We played it on the Nooner. It's towards the end of a podcast. I don't know if you guys can find it, where she's talking about her white whale, and her white whale is Bond after getting Star Wars. Now, if you know the story of Moby Dick, describing it as a white whale is fucking perfect. Is absolutely perfect.
She wants it to destroy it.
I would legit love to see Leslie Headland's take on Bond. I would love to see it. I think we could all make a lot of fun videos talking about it.
Hey,
I think you were right with Amanda Stenberg. She can be Bond as well.
She can be doing her hair on Instagram again.
Ladies, let's be absolutely clear. I could speak for Disparu for sure, and I think everybody here, we are on your side. We want the Acolyte renewed. Hashtag renew the Acolyte. Let's go, girls.
I shared it on Twitter.
We have the power.
Saving lives.
Apparently, so we can do it. We can will it to existence.
Why are they mad? We were watching it,
Yeah,
it's not our fault.
The only one.
We're its biggest fans. Some of it's
I directly contributed to its success, such as it was.
Well, that's what they
I
claim.
signed to get it renewed.
But in their mind, we're the sole reason why it failed. Because
We're sacrificing testosterone and brain cells watching this show. Okay,
It's a
I wanted to redecorate my house after every episode.
The thing is, right? It's legit easier to get through than Rings of Power just because it's shorter. Rings of Power is such a slog.
It is, but it's fascinating to really kind of see their mentality, because what you were saying, Gary, where is like, it failed because no one was interested in it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they could ever actually accept that reality.
They can't.
Because
It's obvious.
Well, it's tied into their identity because they have to then acknowledge because it being bad is one component, but you're right about the other component. The other component is the identity politics and the woke messaging. All right. And so they are so defensive about it because the failure of the Acolyte they take as a rejection of their identity, which guess what? It is, but they can't hack that. They cannot hack that.
Dude.
And so they'll never accept it. And
If you live in a bubble, particularly the kind of world that they live in, where everyone's so desperate not to offend each other that they just kind of agree with everything that everyone says. So like their lives are just constant affirmation of every stupid thing that they say. And then when they run into that brick wall of reality where people just outright reject it, where normal people say, no, you're just a fucking whack job. Please stop being weird. Yeah, like you say, they can't handle it. They've never experienced that in their lives, and so their minds just completely shut down.
Yep.
And they have to
Their
go into
ideas
attack mode.
require. This is why their memes aren't just pictures; they're like walls of text because it requires a lot of talking to and like ideological reasoning to jump through the loops.
Yes.
So it just doesn't work on normal people. If you're not in that world, you'll never join it.
Now I have it about 50 minutes in. So our X-Ray Girl said it is. So we can play here and let me know if it's close.
Fight Club on it. You met me in you met me at a very interesting time in my life. Like.
That's Leslie
the
Headland,
irony,
by the
though,
way.
I doubt that,
Shot
Leslie.
is, I think in Fight Club it's deployed as like, here they are about to sort of step out into this world that's changed, but like
it's quite quiet.
We now know.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
Because this is a prequel that
It's pretty quiet.
I don't really
it's
have a
kind
way
of
to turn it
tragedy
up.
that they're stepping into as
You suck.
characters. And
Just kidding.
It
there
is
are
what it
all
is.
sorts of like really interesting tensions that
Hey,
emerge
Gore.
from the way the finale
Do
closes.
you remember when it was? He's out there. I know he's listening.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find it.
Frank,
It is a
speak
50
up,
Frank.
minute.
I know he's
Hey,
listening.
I will say we did not get out of this unscathed, Gary. There was somebody that took a hit from this whole cancel pigs fiasco. Gary, can you explain?
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Starbucks.
Yep.
I didn't want to
What
make
was
this
the
video.
order, Gary? What was the order?
Had you
What
just
was it?
watched The
What'd you get?
Acolyte and so you just
Okay.
felt like going to a venti?
I was
Something
actually.
syrup.
This is during a watch party for episode 4. Yes, I was drinking Starbucks and immediately fired by Jeremy from the quartering without even asking me like what coffee I had in my cup. It could have been coffee brand coffee, but I think since I'm caught and we're all about honesty and authenticity, I have to tell you the truth. It was Russian coffee.
Oh, no.
I knew it.
Thing is, now that he's gone after you on social media, you have to make a video saying my channel is under attack.
I do. I do.
That sounds
So-
like a Nerdrotic Daily video, right?
Despite being here, I'm fired from Friday Night Tights, and hopefully I'll get my last paycheck, which would be my first. So,
What was the actual order of the coffee, Gary?
the actual order is
Pumpkin spice.
no fucking
Soy latte.
Come on, you're
Let
a
me
white
guess.
boy.
Come on.
Large
dude. No, it's the
From
most
California,
manly.
I know.
soy.
I'll
No.
tell you what. I'll tell you what I get if you tell me what you get.
I'll tell you, the regular coffee with a shot of espresso, black. That's it.
Oh yeah,
That's fair enough. That's
Like
a
you
manly
like your
way
men.
there.
That's like
That's way more manly than what I
coffee
get.
Yeah.
rape.
Hey, I will
I
say
don't understand like these fucking enormous cups of coffee where it's like half a gallon of this shit. Like I want it
Like
small.
2,000
give
calories.
me a double espresso or give me a cortado. That's it. Get,
How else are you
get that
supposed to
cup
survive?
there.
That's what
Caffeine
this is.
power.
It's Pike's Peak with a shot of espresso.
Pikes Peak, yeah, Rose.
And Gary, I have it on good authority that quartering told me that basically we're just you're not going to get paid. It's going to be like a Milton situation. So eventually it'll work itself out. You'll just
He fixed
stop
the glitch.
coming in. He fixed the glitch.
He
Go
fixed
ahead,
the
Ryan.
glitch.
Good to me.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I wish you had something gayer so mine wouldn't sound as gay in comparison.
Yeah, come on. Let's hear it.
From Starbucks, what I do is the hot caramel macchiato. Hold on.
You're done. You're done.
Hold on. Hot caramel macchiato, 2 extra shots of espresso, extra pump of vanilla, pump of cinnamon dolce.
Pump of vanilla? What? That's
Caramel
so much
and vanilla.
sugar?
Fucking calm down, Ryan.
Oh my god.
Wow. It's
Gay.
Yes, queen.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Yes,
All
queen.
right,
Yes.
gay.
Yeah.
So
But
are you gay?
normally in the morning, it's just a shot of espresso with like a tiny little bit of cream.
You are gay.
That's right.
Tiny. A dollar.
So
I got no
really-
shame.
Tiny
That
bit
is
of
actually my strategy, right? If it eventually I do get demonetized, I'm gonna put pronouns in my bio. I'm gonna tell everybody I'm trans, and I'm gonna say that everyone's running a hate campaign against me.
Dude,
and
we're
I will
already
use my-
protected. We're already
I will use my
protected.
coffee as proof.
We have Jeremy, a homosexual man. We are already protected. Okay.
No, was it somebody tagged me in a tweet, that guy that said you are gay? I feel like, I don't know if it was really him. Andrew Tate like tweeted a picture of him, said this guy needs to be VP, and he responded. I think
Speaking
this
of
is
gay.
him, and it's got like 150,000 likes on it right now. If that's really the guy, I'm putting in the private chat right now. But if that's him, I'm gonna follow him right here. So Andrew Tate says, I want this guy as VP. And I don't know if that's really him. He's got 500,000 followers. It must be him. So right.
That looks like, I think that is it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It's got like 160,000 likes on the tweet.
It looks like black ass.
Okay, here I'm.
Now we know where Az went.
Yes, the Acolyte was canceled because not enough people watched. If we had the power to cancel shows, Star Trek Discovery would have been canceled after the first season. Doctor Who would have been canceled.
If I
Rings of Power be canceled.
I would be the fucking Grim Reaper of show
Yes.
killers.
Bro,
Take
I
a
would have
side to that.
Titanfall 3 right now if I had this type of power. That's what I would have.
How fucked up is this timeline where Daredevil gets canceled? For whatever reason, Daredevil was canceled, and we have 5 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. Like,
don't worry, Gary, you've got Daredevil Born Again on the way.
Again.
I'm sure that'll be just as good.
It's Born again because they've
We
already
can't-
done that
again.
storyline in season 3. So
Can we get a dredge part 2?
a dredge?
What? Excuse me.
A Matt
Dredge.
Drudge?
Dredge.
Judge
Dredge.
Dredge?
Just a guy who's got to
Dredge.
drain rivers.
Dredge,
you know?
yes.
Like,
Yes.
Tough job, you know.
I used to call it.
Dredge
I used to call it dredge back in the day. So
Well, he still
Judge
calls me
Dredd.
Nerdrotic.
When I call Black Ops Blops, people are like, "What is Blops? It's Black Ops."
Is that an Alabama thing to use? Like, is that so it's an Alabama thing? Like D sounds like G.
Dude, I wear Crocs. Okay, what the fuck do you want from me? Okay,
Not much. Our expectations are
Florida,
very low, but
okay?
holy fuck.
Actually, now it's my headcanon that Jeremy thought it was Judd Dredge.
I did. I was playing Black Ops 6 the other day, and I called it Blops, and people are like in the chat, they're like, "What is Blops?" I'm like, I thought that was a thing.
What the people?
That's what
The people that were playing the game didn't know what it was called.
I was like, "Is this like a thing that was only in my little sphere in Alabama back in the
Hey,
day?" when
at
we
least
called
Let me
it
ask you a
Blops?"
question. Actually,
Those
Have you
gaming
played
words and not
Black
other
Myth-
gaming words.
Have you played Black Myth Wukong? And
I have
is it
not.
worth my time?
I haven't,
I
but
have.
everybody that's played it said it is worth your time. Everybody
Okay.
that's in my sphere has played it. They love it.
If you
Except
like
for Razor
Souls,
Fist.
if you like Souls-like games, then
Yeah, because I'm too much of a pussy for the Souls games. Like, I don't have like 100 hours to plow into it to get good at it. So, like, I need something easier. Like, Stellar Blade was like roughly the right level of difficulty.
I'm just hearing a bunch of
Space Marine
excuses. I'm hearing a
Play
bunch of
Space Marine
excuses
2.
right now. That's what I'm hearing.
yeah, this
I'm not,
is
I'm not
the
a
gamer
master
over
of
here.
door opening like you,
Head
Gary.
gamer.
My chat
Drinker.
convinced me. My chat's convinced me to play Space Marine 2. It looks fucking awesome.
It's
I don't
so
know
good.
anything, I don't know
So
anything
good.
about Warhammer, but that game looks awesome. It looks like Gears of War style. It looks
Yeah,
really
I think
good.
so.
I know Games
Yeah.
Workshop is doing some cucky things with the Astartes right now, but like that game.
Yeah,
freaking
well,
good.
they've now got female custodies, which is like the ultra mega space marines are now like female. So yeah. Sure, okay.
You must
Yeah.
obey.
I haven't seen a
Trigger.
female
that
Space Marine
said,
yet.
Wukong it was easier than like Elden Ring and stuff because he did all the bosses first time, but he still really enjoyed it. So
Okay.
I've bought it. I've just not had time to play due to Rings of Power dropping 3 episodes in the same day.
Speaking
That
of
was
things we don't
abuse.
enjoy,
But hang on.
I'm
even
still
the fans
angry
which
about
like
having
Rings
to
of
watch
Power-
3 of them in one day for open bar.
dude.
The fans that like Rings of Power have been tweeting out, "We're halfway through the season," and it's like it's been a week.
It's like they have to jeer themselves on. Like, come on, guys, we're halfway through. We're over the hump. Come on, we can do this.
Yeah, it was the viewership numbers though are quite frankly, like
Bad.
abysmal for them.
Yes.
They lost half their audience.
And they fudged
obviously,
dude, I did the math. Go on. I did the math on this.
Obviously, 902,000 households. Samba TV numbers, that is not the totality of people that actually watch in the United States. That's the totality of people that have Samba TV monitoring their smart TVs, right? Out of the couple tens of millions of smart TVs they have in the United States, right? But the one thing you can compare it to are their Samba TV numbers. So 1.8 million over the first 4 days.
That averages
for season
450,000 views a day. Go on.
True. I wouldn't do that average because the majority of them are going to come in the first day or
Yeah,
two.
but I mean, we're trying to get the percentages right here. So it
Yeah,
averages out over 4 days. They got 450.
1.8 million households, right? I got 1.9 million views on my review.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you got it. And you got it quicker than 4 days. They took 4 days to get that. Now, if you go to 900, it's 902,000 over 5 days. Okay. Which averages out to 180,400 views a day. So if you take away that extra day and you go, it is actually 721,600 people watched it over 4 days. The premiere of Rings of Power Season 2. So that percentage is 60%. It's now it's not 50%, it's 60, which is much closer to the amount of the audience that they left in the United States. So
nobody came back to check it out.
Brutal. Yeah. Why would you? Why would you?
Well,
this show, like, because I've asked this same question on Open Bar, right? From a purely financial point of view, I know they said that they'd committed to 5 seasons of this stuff, but you know, if you're getting viewing figures like this and you spent $1 billion making this show, there must come a point where you have to say, we've got to cut our losses here. It's not worth making this. Not enough people are even going to watch it.
No.
$1 billion for 2 seasons. And it probably costs them much more than that, because that estimate was based on them planning to reuse a lot of the sets and props and things like that in their original season 1 location, but then they had to move it all again and rebuild a bunch of stuff. So
but what did they spend it on? It wasn't the costumes. Like,
it was
wasn't
the high tier
actors.
it was all the
Morford
retakes.
Clark, I'm sure she's like a fucking $1 billion.
It was all the
actress.
retakes. I'm sure you saw this, Disparu, because you watch all the clips. Did you see the clip of the language specialist that they had on that requires them to roll the R's 3 times each?
Yeah.
So that must be a lot of retakes.
Sauron.
Yes.
The intro to episode 4 was like Sauron going into
Region with
Calibrimbo. I was like, what the hell is going on?
It's so
Everyone's
bad.
just got their own little moped on the go. Like,
Yeah.
I do think Galadriel is like 1,000 RPM at the moment. She
really is.
She's the best
You
person.
can tell that like the dam has broken now. Like, they've been holding it back the first 3 episodes. Like, oh, she wants the girl boss. She wants it so hard. And then like episode 4, she gets to do it. She takes an entire orc army by herself.
She girl bossed over the entire thing then, and that was so dumb.
And she's still listening to the ring that's evil, that she knows is evil from Sauron. Is like, no, we should still.
Well, that ring's okay.
The ring is not evil. The ring is
not evil.
Episode.
No,
My
it
favorite
shouldn't
moment-
be, but it is in this series.
They're framing
Like,
it
everywhere
as
they
It is in
go.
this series.
Yes.
They're framing like it should be questioned, and Elrond is 100% right to mention it, because they have completely bastardized the way that these rings.
And that's
were
not
actually
just
made.
because he looks like Ryan
in
Kinnell.
What these rings do in this show is like absurd. It becomes like the Force in like the Rise of Skywalker, where it can just magically heal people from wounds. Like if you've got an arrow sticking out of you, which that whole scene was hilarious, where the guy just randomly gets hit by an orc arrow, but like they just makes it fall out. It's perfect. That's not what the rings do. That's not what their power is. Like, it's described in the books. Like when they go to Lothlorien, right? It's like they feel like time has stood still. They've been stuck in like a little bubble of magic while they've been there. That's the power of it. It delays the decline of the elves and their kingdom, right? That's all it is. It's subtle. In this, it's just like this magic bullshit device that can do anything that the plot
It gives her
needs it to
ringy
do.
powers. My ringy powers are
We talked about it
tingling.
last week.
Sense
They
is tingling.
treat it as if it is a magic power that can just do anything it wants to do, and then the show itself treats it as if it is the One Ring, as if it is
It's
the
a
One Ring
temptation
that can.
for people.
Yes.
Rings of Power is like somebody's only watched the movies and then they made a TV series out of it.
Or
And so
just
the
memes
only
of the
No.
movies.
Rings
only
of Power
reference
is like someone read the first sentence of like every Wikipedia article about the ring or the Lord of the Rings, and then just like went from that. That was their entire knowledge.
With the power of the rings, because the way they describe it is literally like it can control minds, it tempts people. Multiple times we've seen them where they like grip it and it plays the dark music because he's like, no, I can't let these go. We literally have him go out into the ocean and then he's like, it doesn't want itself to be like destroyed, and so then he's like, oh, it's tempted me, I need to put this on. And so it is like the only reference they have is the One Ring, and they just think all of them have that power.
Isn't it ass backwards as well? Didn't they forge the 9 rings first of all? Gave them to
yes.
them.
Well,
Then they forged the 7,
there's
and then they
the
discovered
7 to 9,
Sauron, and that's when the elves forged the 3 rings in secret that he didn't.
They did
touch.
it backwards. And she also has lost her power to make, or hasn't discovered it yet. That's probably going to be their excuse to make the ring invisible. So
Yeah, I think it was. I think they did the Dwarven rings, then the 9 for men, and then Anatar fucked off to go make the One Ring. And they didn't even know he was Sauron at that point still. And then they made the 3 Elven rings.
Celebrimbor by himself.
Right.
Yeah, Celebrimbor, I
Yeah.
should say,
Right.
And then gave it to them, like actually presented it to these
Plus,
other people.
There
as
were
opposed
like
to
a
them
whole
just
bunch of
throwing
minor
it around.
rings that they were called, which were like his prototypes for this when he was just learning his craft. So he actually made a whole bunch of magical rings before he did the 9 and
Essays
the 7
in
and
the
the
craft.
3. Yes. Which again we haven't seen because we've got to like speed run everything in this show. I think my favorite moment.
Those are all on Gilgalad's hand.
Yeah, yeah. Like he's honestly like a gypsy taxi driver. Like he's freaking covered in this shit.
Hello.
I think my favorite moment in the show was when they got to this bridge that had been fucking exploded by dynamite or whatever, like completely destroyed, and then some guy just goes,
No, Elrond
"Looks
goes,
like lightning."
looks like lightning. It's like, what?
What kind of lightning does that?
Uh,
It's amazing.
That's when that's when they're on their way back to Region, right? So the most important message in Middle Earth in 500 years hasn't made it to Celebrimbor. You think it's a little urgent. They know Sauron's back. They're planning an attack on Mordor, and they haven't heard from Celebrimbor. And Galadriel's been, because she's an amazing detective now because of her ringy power. She's like, I know exactly where Sauron's going. He's going back to Eregion. So do they get a platoon? Do they get 100 elves to go up? No, they get 4 that look like they work at Starbucks.
Get an eagle.
Yeah.
Get an eagle to deliver that message and say, like, right, you, eagle, take this to
something.
Eregion. Don't let anything get in your way. Just fucking fly directly there. That's it. Problem solved.
No,
it's so dumb.
Eric Kane from Forbes had the best description. This is like an alternate universe. Like they're repurposing. Dude, I've described it before the show, and you'll see it in my video. It's repurposing squared. They're repurposing stuff that was already repurposed for the movies that they repurposed shot for shot in this, just so they can take a connected storyline from the Third Age and drop it in the Second Age because Peter Jackson didn't do it, but then ripped off his shots.
Wheel of Time did that same thing, and they used that same excuse. It's another turning of the wheel, which essentially meant it's time repeating itself. And so while the main events might stay the same, how they all happen is entirely different.
That's not even happening here. I mean, that's like not even happening here. We have people talking to each other who should never talk to each other in places they've never been in the Second Age, at least.
Tom Bombadil.
And
people that are missing.
Any fucking asshole who wants to go out on Twitter and go, well, the lore underlines this with that. Like, where's Celeborn? Where the fuck is Celeborn? Celeborn is supposed to be here. It's a pretty important character.
Supposed to be here the whole time.
With like an elf on each arm.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've been having a great time with Galadriel.
Oh my gosh! If he was just in a
right, Gary,
elf
when you've
brothel.
talked about this in the past, you said like the 100% the reason why Celeborn isn't in this is because they don't want him to overshadow Galadriel.
Yep,
that is the only reason for this.
It would
And
rob her.
this is the ethos of all modern storytelling, where it's like the political considerations of what you need to show overrides like what makes sense, what was actually in the story. Don't care. None of that matters. Let's just like make up our own version of it now because it has to conform to modern expectations.
That makes no sense. If they did watch the Peter Jackson version, the person that talks is not Galadriel. She's the silent one until until her husband speaks. But she's not the one that feels like the powerful one. He's not the one that feels like the powerful one.
No.
She feels like she's powerful because
she's
of the
powerful,
directing,
but
because of the writing, because of the characters.
Within the
because of
books,
her
they
performance.
clearly
there's-
explain her
yeah.
as like she's got all her agency and then some within the books
Yeah,
with Celeborn.
But like that is born from a more mature version of storytelling where people understand that there's different kinds of power, and power doesn't just mean like wearing a big suit of armor and punching people in the face and like being superficially strong. There's more to it than that. There's a subtlety to it. The showrunners of this don't understand that. They never will. Everything has to be superficial. If you want to say Galadriel is a strong character, she has to be wearing the suit of armor. She has to be man-spreading right there in front of everyone. She has to be like dominating the battlefield and taking on entire orc armies, because that's the only version of strength that they understand.
Well,
it's a child's
feminism,
view of storytelling.
It's what women think it means to be strong, which they think is how men are strong. It's all kind of.
But is this
put
what
upon.
women aspire to? Like, because I'm reliably informed that you are one yourself. Like, do you dream of being like big and muscular and like swinging a sword into someone's face and like saving the day and defeating the evil bad guy?
No, because women who don't know how to be strong in their feminine try to be strong in their masculine, which they don't have clearly because they're women, and that's why it comes across kind of disingenuous because it's like, no, women, you can be strong in the way of making sandwiches, and
that's a strength.
That's a strong sandwich right there.
The power of sandwich making over a man, you do not underestimate it at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many marches on its stomach?
Melt
The
cheese.
thing,
one sandwich.
The thing why I feel feminists want to basically be men, they want that, masculine strength, is because violence is the thing that basically underpins, in any conflict.
Any good sexual relationship. Yes.
Well, it's the I get what you're trying to say. Like, it's the basis.
Violence
it's
is where
the
all-
ultimate basis of any kind of power. Is your
Exactly.
ability to
Is
inflict?
derived.
It's your ability to enforce it through physical force.
Yes.
Right. And if you don't have that, then you don't really have power. You only have it through consensus. Otherwise, like, people agree to cooperate with you,
Yeah.
but if they are bigger and stronger than you, they could take that away at any time they
That's why
choose.
guns are so important.
And
yes,
Yeah,
why
they're
on
a pretty
earth?
good leveler.
If you want to make Galadriel a warrior woman, why on earth would you pick 5'4" Morfydd Clark, who looks short next to anybody? She'd probably be like
She looks
eye level
anemic.
with the Harfoots or the
The
Stewards.
casting is fucked. Like, all the elves are wrong. Like, they're
Yeah.
supposed to be like ethereally beautiful beyond human understanding, and you've got these podgy, dumpy,
Ugly.
middle-aged actors.
They're not supposed to just look
Gil-galad.
like British people, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah, with horrible teeth. and
With
stuff.
dye jobs.
They always, like, whenever these shows try to make a
Ryan,
woman
being British is a disability, okay? It's internationally
I'm impressed.
recognized.
I agree with you, yeah.
Well, one of the, like, whenever these shows do it, they did it with She-Hulk, they did it in Willow, they did it, and like, whenever they make the woman the strong character, they always make her look like an arsehole. She, like even in this, Galadriel just slaughtered a load of orcs. She was on a horse. She could have got away. She could have saved the day and escaped. Instead, she turns around to gloat at them, and that's what gets her captured. It is literally because she couldn't shut her mouth. She had to tell them how amazing I am, and that what's brought her to her knees. And so it's almost like, in attempting to make them so over the top powerful, you always make them look like an idiot because they just can't control their own temper because they have to prove how better I am than you.
Which is wild because they're the writers. They could put the character in better situations, but they always end up putting him in horrible situations.
They have access to things where they can tell brilliant stories if they had the ability.
They could.
If
they had that ability. That's what.
The fact of the matter is, I mean, it's put simply, is they wanted to remake Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, and they only got rights to the Second Age. So we just are following a series of events to hit beats that remind you of that. That's all this episode was, because all they were doing was fucking walking around. Then it's like, member. It's awful.
It was because I think we talked about this on Open Bar last night. Like the bit where Don Lemonlass and like Isildur get swallowed by like random swamp creature, and like they get rescued eventually by like slicing their way out, and like its stomach just kind of like vomits them out back onto the ground, and they're totally fine. And everyone's like, "What the fuck was that thing?" And his response is, you know, there are nameless things in the deep places of the earth, which is a line repurposed directly from the books. But that was Gandalf talking about like falling into the deepest, darkest pits of Moria, like up 10 miles underground or whatever. Not a swamp creature in the mud right on the surface. It's just, again, as Gary was saying, it's just repurposing things that you vaguely remember.
And
That's it.
what happens in between, especially because I'm watching, well, I'm forced to, but it's kind of fun. When every time I hit a line from the books or from the movies, I go, and I've watched them enough. I know the timestamps. I go right there, and you see the difference in directing, right? So Peter Jackson is like, his timing is boom. The lines are delivered well enough to where you completely understand them with heart, with soul, like that. In this show, it's long pauses between words that take, it's like a quartering video. Like,
Or it's like
take that, Jeremy!
It's the tortured metaphors and it's the clunky dialogue. It's physically painful to try to get through.
It's amazing. It's on multiple levels as well, because the writing is absolute arse. The acting and delivery is crap, but the visual storytelling and the choice of how they get it direct and which angle and when they hold a shot and stuff like that is also complete crap. It's amazing that this is just so bad on nearly every level that you look at it.
I just like when they got to the barrows and Galadriel knows what these things are, and she's like, "There's an ancient evil in this barrow."
Okay,
and they're like,
how
"Should we
in
walk
the
10
fuck
feet
does
that
she
way?"
know what they are? They're not supposed to be there for like 1,000 years. They're from the Witch King of Angmar, and she knows exactly what the fuck they are.
Well, it's like they've existed in loads of places. Oh, these are Barrow-wites. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
they just say
maybe
that.
avoid the barrows then. Just go
Yeah,
around them.
if you
very
knew,
specific location.
No, they specifically wanted to go into that, to the danger, because she warned Elrond. She's all, "Don't go there. My ringy sense was tingling, and that's the danger." And he's like, "Fuck you, bitch. I'm not going to listen to your dumb ring. I'm going to go there anyway to show what a bumbling fucking idiot he was." Because even though they showed her like she had some humility in the first 3 episodes, she's still right. That's how they're framing it. Is like,
Yeah.
Like
All the men are still dumb.
She absolutely resents being second in command, like every single moment of it. But there was a post, Gary, that you'd shared on Twitter, like, and I brought it up there. If you could like bring it up, I think it. Yeah, there you go. This is our team of elves, right? And it's just. This just epitomizes everything that this show is. We have got every box ticked here, apart from an elf that's in a wheelchair. That's the only thing that
Everyone's
we're
got
missing
penis veins on them.
It looks like
Yeah, it is. Like,
Oh, it's like ball sack armor from The Witcher.
Yeah, it looks like
Christy spotted it right away. She's
it looks
had so
like,
much experience.
of course she did. Well, for one, X-Ray Girl, props for being in the show. But it looks like an away team from like a Star Trek parody.
Yeah.
Like an
They're all
SNL
red
skit.
Dude on the left there, like, oh, someone's getting a bit tubby in their middle age, aren't they?
Yep.
Like,
Hey,
one
when
of them
you're
was a
3,000 years old, you put on a couple pounds, all right?
All right.
One of them was a literal red shirt because Galadriel asks, "Who should we?" Or Elrond says, "I want 2 swordsmen and 1 archer."
really
They're
does
the
look
guys
like
on the left, and then they just bring in this guy on the right for no reason whatsoever except to die, and they're left with 2 swordsmen and 1 archer. So it's like, oh yeah, just one to sacrifice along the way, please. My favorite bit is when he gets pulled in on the chains, and they just hear like crunch. And she's the only one who pulls out a sword, and no one else does think they should defend themselves until she goes, "Ready yourself."
No,
she has to tell them.
Oh, by the way, this episode was directed by 2 women, so it has to be twice as good.
Wow, they needed 2.
Okay,
and
imagine my shock, yeah.
The action scenes are fucking awful. Like, we have background characters waiting. They're like, "Okay, go." Okay, you could see him standing around, especially when Guy Ladriel, by the way, who could completely fuck up a bunch of orcs with the ring in the books, the 6'3" Galadriel, but this little girl boss one is on the back of a horse laying fucking down, and like the orcs just standing there. They had fucking arrows. They could have just killed her right there. And you could see the people standing around. And it's the second time that happens in this episode.
But
they
do that thing as well where she has some flaming arrows that she shoots at them, and every time it hits an orc, this dude combusts like he is made of napalm. Like his entire body just goes on
Drinker,
fire.
did you see how her first arrows caught on fire? She shot 2 in a row through a fire. through a fire, and
Right.
somehow it just caught on fire.
I lost my crap at that because I do archery, and I've even tested fire arrows and how difficult they are to work, and they're very difficult. To
I'm
work.
guessing, correct me if I'm wrong, Shad, if you had an arrow dipped in fucking petrol, I'll use your language, and you shot it through a campfire, it wouldn't catch on fire. It'd probably be going so fast.
No, it wouldn't. And
Yeah.
You're right about that. And even loosing it at such a sudden acceleration, it extinguishes the fire most of the time.
And,
Unless you have
like,
something
correct me if I'm
The
wrong,
Lady
Shad,
of
but,
Light.
Like fire arrows are not used against the infantry, are they? They're used
No,
against buildings. They're used to set things on fire.
We got a thumbnail.
we
got a
Perry,
thumbnail.
we have a thumbnail.
Perry, that's it.
Drinker, you're absolutely right. Setting them on fire added no lethality at all to their effectiveness. If anything, it would help cauterize the wound and keep them alive a bit longer. But then they're doused in napalm and they just burst into
They
flames.
just burst into flame. Oh, when she throws up the two lanterns and it just like Drinker, you said last night, it blows up like an incendiary device and just fucking sets everybody on fire.
That shit was like
Okay,
straight
yeah,
out of
dude,
the
that's too much.
The Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies. That's like that kind of level of stupidity.
Yeah.
I
That-
love
like
it.
the scene was so bad. My favorite part was when they get into the Barrow Downs and the red shirt, the black elf, gets put in chains and sucked into it.
They can't help themselves.
I lost my mind. I'm like, that is the second season in a row they put a black man in chains.
And he was the first one to go out. What's up?
He was the first one to go out.
You know what I love about the show most of all is like when I go to when the show takes us to any location, whether it's like the Far East, whether it's the South, like the North, wherever, everyone looks exactly the same because every single place looks like fucking downtown LA.
Yep.
Just like that big hodgepodge, that big melting pot of different ethnicities all together in harmony. No one questions it. No one thinks it's slightly weird. No one has adapted to live in the particular climate that they're in. It's just a big mix of people. It's fucking brilliant. Well done for the world building on this show, guys.
Yes, well done.
Really,
Wow.
you knocked it out of the park.
So
It's funny because the door even swings the other way, which I never would have expected for a show like this. But you go to places in the Middle East, you meet the Stewards, which are like retarded, like fucking like other versions of halflings, right? And I thought,
Ancestors of
this is
Frodo.
great.
Ancestors of
This
Frodo,
they
yeah.
can indulge all of their diversity quota desires in this place. You can have all the Middle Eastern black actors that you want, and it'll make sense in universe. Great. Even there, they have the mix, just the same mix of people, the generic melting pot of different ethnicities. Why? Because that's what the rules of modern writing demand.
Exactly.
It's so absurd.
And
it even works against their own cause.
It destroys the verisimilitude. There you go, RMB. It destroys that
that-
verisimilitude.
That is, I'm pretty sure that is Frodo's great grandma.
Yep, it is.
Sure,
yeah.
that was
Mammy.
supposed to be,
and the Shire is a
um,
prophecy, apparently.
Oh God. Yes.
Every moment that I'm with those two retarded halflings, I want to gouge my own eyes out with a rusty spoon.
So there's
Because, like,
no.
it is
This
just
is
awful.
This is the most cringe part. So I missed. Thanks, Disparu pointed out. Shout out to Johnny Law, by the way, for finding it. I can't speak stage Irish, so I missed it.
I just fast forward through their scenes.
Yeah, so with
Oh,
female,
you can't speak Harfoot.
females, Sam and Frodo were talking to Dan Galf, and they said, "Well, you just got to find a grand, which is in this show, not in Tolkien lore, a stick." And then,
oh no, it's worse than that. It's a gand.
I'm sorry, gand. Did I say grand? A
Yeah.
gand. A gand. It's called a gand, which is not a word. Okay, which is not a gand, which is a stick, and his name is Gandalf. Well, it gets worse in this episode because they run into Mama Stewar, sorry, and
That's his hair.
sorry. And they're describing their big friend. He's a giant. Is he an elf? No, he's a grand elf. Grand elf.
I remember writing that down, going like,
Fucking
"Oh
show.
my god."
Yeah.
I love the chain of logic that follows in this scene as well, where they say like, our friend is a wizard, and her response is, well, there's only one wizard under these skies, and he's an evil one, so that means you must be evil too, so we're gonna put you in prison. It's like,
Are you
okay,
a good witch or a
do
bad
you
witch?
understand that like other people can come in from other places and they're not evil necessarily? Like, does that
There is
compute at all, or
no
what?
there's no reasonable belief that the Harfoots or the Stools should have ever survived.
Stools, he said
Sorry, the Stores. The Stores.
No, Stools is better.
Stools is better. And
Yeah.
that was completely not intentional. I swear. But they're so dumb.
Need
Their
a
methods
stool
of
sample for
survival-
this one.
Their methods of survival, you fall behind, you die, right?
Yep.
The way that they just like their process of thinking, there's no way you can convince me that these people have survived for hundreds or thousands of years.
No,
Like
they're so
too
retarded. Like,
they're too retarded to actually survive this world.
But on
all
top
of
of
these
that,
people are evolutionary dead ends.
Yes.
you know, on top of that, they wrote them as evil as the Harfoots. Her response to meeting strangers is that you tell us or something, or we will feed you limb to the bad people. Like, what? Holy crap! Are you?
It's so stupid. Look at her hair.
Okay,
Look at
Drinker.
everything
Looks
about
like the
her.
Acolyte
Drinker.
mom.
Drinker.
That's
What
Fucking show.
what accent do the stools have?
It's like in Hot Fuzz. I kept thinking about like Nick Frost's character in that. Like, you go back to London.
Yeah. So I love this multicultural place in the
good.
East that still has like some old British accent, like whatever the fuck it is.
This is a Devon sort of accent.
Yeah.
Is this really from the show? I just
Dude, no,
Yes.
it is. And like, if you put that picture up and tell me, is
What
this from
the
Blood
fuck?
Origin, Willow, Wheel of Time, or
No.
Rings of Power? Nobody would fucking be able to know.
Garrett, show
Modern
nobody.
fantasy.
Show nobody.
That guy.
I kid you not.
Here, he's
right?
earlier.
We
There he
are
is.
so.
He's like a coked out Rufio.
Is that
Yeah.
from-
Coked out
is that
Rufio.
from-
Yeah, it is.
He's from the Middle Earth call center. Okay.
Rufio.
Now, all of the stools should have looked like him, really.
Feedback.
That was also Harvey Weinstein's chant for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm gonna give it to you, Ryan.
We did not appreciate how lucky we were that we got the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy at the time that we got it.
Yep.
Give
That
it
was
another
the-
10 years, that would have been fucked. There's
That's
no way it could have happened.
That's the face you make when Leslie Headland says Harvey wants to see you right there.
Not again.
So yes, you heard that right, audience. The vast majority of you who did not watch the show, they made the Shire a prophecy.
Yep.
A fucking prophecy.
I hate
Tom
everything this
Bombadil
show
is Yoda. Tom Bombadil is fucking Yoda in
Bombadil
this.
Sucks, dude.
God, he was
He's a god,
terrible.
basically.
They turned him into just a regular guy. He's just a regular guy. You
There's
know,
nothing like
some
sing
dude.
song or
No, but he's like the guy who's like fucking hacked the game, okay, and knows the entire script of the show. He knows exactly where everything's going. Like,
Yeah, but
this
that makes
like,
him evil
because
now.
we
But,
talked
yeah,
about this on Open Bar last night. Tom Bombadil from the books, like the actual correct version of him, wouldn't care about any of this stuff. He wouldn't care
Yes.
about evil wizards. He wouldn't care about like Sauron, the battle for Middle Earth, any of that stuff. He's concerned with like the things within his domain,
wood,
like
water, and
trees.
hill.
Yeah, he's a nature deity. That's all he is, and so that's all he understands. This is absurd, and the idea that he taught Gandalf how to do magic. Fuck you,
And talk
fuck
the
you,
Dark
show.
Wizard? The
Fuck
fucking-
every single person who made this.
Oh, and this
Yeah, but
this
that-
Dark Wizard, it could be Saruman. Like this is the show that gave us Baby Shelob.
You know,
Okay?
yeah.
But I thought the whole idea behind Saruman was no one knew he was evil.
Yeah, he wasn't evil till late. It would be shocking to me.
No,
at
he's
this
gonna
point.
he'll wipe
he
Gandalf's
changed his
memory or
tune.
something.
They keep on
Like they
using the
care about
word.
lore. I mean,
They
clearly
keep
care
on
about
calling
it.
them wizards and Eastar, and they're not even supposed to be. Nobody would know that word in this region at this time. They're not supposed to be here at this time. It's just. It would possibly
this
be
Dark
Olorin.
Wizard, right? He's going to try and take out Tom Bombadil, and he's going to shoot lightning at him, right? And it's going to Tom Bombadil is going to reflect it back at him, and it's going to turn his hair from dark to white, and it's going to wipe his memory. And then when it's all over, he's going to be like,
only
I am all the Astari.
Cut to black. Credits.
Tom
looks like
Bombadil's
he's a-
basically just like Hagrid in this.
He's also like Jesus because he almost at one point said the line before everything else was "I am." Like he might as well have said that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the issue is, if you're a nature thing, you can understand why you just wouldn't care, because you would continue existing anyway, even if things burn, life grows anew, and that kind of stuff. So it works if he's either above it or he doesn't care about it. But in this, he really got affected when he was like, Saruman and everyone will burn the land. But I'm just going to go and pick flowers. And it's like, once you've shown that he comprehends the evil that's about to do and the damage that it's going to do, and then he ignores it anyway, well, now he's either evil or a coward.
He picks the lilies. He picks the lilies for Goldberry, and quite frankly, she's pretty fucking hot.
I was gonna ask you about this, Gary. Like they are clearly building up Goldberry.
Yes.
She's gonna have a scene. She is going to be the girl boss to end all girl
Oh,
bosses.
that would be hilarious if they did that.
She
And
will,
you know
mate.
they
I
will.
fucking do it.
You
And she'll
know they
validate
will.
Galadriel somehow as well.
Yeah, and they'll have like Goldberry played by some 70-year-old actress or something.
I think my favorite thing about Galadriel is just as we got the Ents and we had like Arendur go, I promise you, we will never damage these woods again. Immediately cuts to Galadriel lobbing fire on all the trees. And
I know. Whoosh. Whoosh. I know. Yeah.
This is.
You were talking about it, Drinker. Like the Ents looked good. Like the
I
effects
did-
for the Ents look good. And there's some effects that like the orcs, some of the orcs look good too. They're just in a really fucking terrible story.
Yes, I did say this last night. Like, this is the one thing that they managed to do quite well. I think the Ents look great. Like, they were probably better than the Peter Jackson versions, which, God, I love that trilogy as much as anyone. But the Ents did look a little bit goofy in that. And so they did a good job with them.
CGI,
here. Yeah, they did their best with the technology at the time. But I think that's where you see it slightly fall short. And I think they did a good job with them here. But that's it. That's just
it.
modern day visual technology. That doesn't mean much.
Well, the Ents in this show don't know how to make proper cages that people could just climb out if they wanted to, but then they
Dude,
decided to lose.
did you not see
strong.
that? Did you see they're in a cage and there's like this giant gaping hole that you could fit through that, dude. You could really.
They're also not very strong.
Honestly, it reminded me of Hot Shots Part 2 when the guy has to like get out of the cage and grab the key to open the cage.
Yes. Yes.
you love
Oh, I'm gonna use that clip. I'm gonna use that clip. Ah, that's
Don't you love
good.
how the Ent just yeets Astrid?
Notes.
And she's like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Oh my
okay,
god,
sure.
she should be dead.
They should have liquefied her skeleton.
Seriously.
From doing that.
She's fine.
Oh my god.
She's fine. Thank God it was one episode, and we didn't even get all the stupid, but it's stupid,
yeah.
and it was boring. Like most of it was just a bunch of people walking around talking slowly. Isildur's like a fucking cuck in this, like just an absolute moron.
When the husband turned up, oh, it was gone.
I know. He literally gets cucked in a moment. And what's funny is Don Lemonless cucks one of the Ents. Like he starts going up to the female, to the Ent wife. Yes, we get an Ent wife. He starts holding her hand, and she's like, forgiveness takes an age, but man, I like him black. Here you go.
He rubs his hand on her
For
before.
you, boy.
Like,
Hang on,
this weird sensual
in
thing.
Yeah,
Good.
there's something going on there.
Is this hardwood?
The wood? What? Hang on.
Oh God.
I do want to break
The
down.
sap was flowing. Sorry.
I want to
At least the Ents hold hands at one point, right? It's more emotion that we see between two characters than what we've seen in almost any modern Hollywood crap.
That's what I mean. Like, there's tiny little glimpses of like an interesting story there where you think, someone actually thought about this scene. They thought about that shot composition. They thought about doing something interesting there. But wow, it's overshadowed by all this crap.
But and if you look at some of the underlying plot, that's the catalyst for many of the events that's happening, like Sauron's plan. Okay, so he knew that Galadriel wouldn't tell Celebrimbor that is Sauron when he revealed it to her. Somehow, he just intuited that, and then he decided to project his magic to destroy a bridge. Somehow, he destroyed this massive bridge, and then summon Barrow-wights because he knew that because the bridge was broken, they would invariably absolutely walk over this very specific small location that would stop the messengers and Galadriel trying to get there. This is all built on nonsensical bullcrap and luck that the writers are just pulling out of their ass and say, here's the plot.
They're not even trying, dude. They're not even trying. This is like the lowest effort, like dog shit repurposing I've ever seen. And you know what? It's right in line with Star Trek Discovery. It's the same thing. It's the same playbook. It is Alex Kurtzman somehow ripped Star Trek from Jar Jar Abrams. Neither of them knew shit, but Jar Jar knew a little more than Alex Kurtzman, and he just started repurposing shit. And like, dude, if you remember, so people of memory hold Star Trek Discovery and Picard season 1 and 2, but they were ripping off plot lines from Iron Man, from Marvel, Mass Effect. Like they were using stock imagery. They used stock imagery in their fucking show. Like it's the same thing. And by the way, they're all descended from the same group. Bad reboot. They're all the same people. They're frauds and they're thieves. They're outright thieves in this. I'm surprised Warner Brothers not suing somebody, to be honest with you.
I honestly, considering how far J.J. Abrams has fallen as a creative in Hollywood, like nobody will fucking employ him for anything these days.
He wanted to do a Kroll remake. It's like, fuck off.
But how did his company survive this? Because like ultimately, that's just like it's got his DNA woven into everything that they do. Somehow they've managed to keep their hold on everything.
Well, you got $250 million from Warner Brothers to do produce a shitty repurposed Batman the Animated Series. That's about it.
Well, we need a palate cleanser, and so breaking news: the trailer for Little Mermaid 2, Disney's live action.
Oh,
Little
good!
Mermaid
Oh, thank God.
So,
what do you bigots got to say about it this time?
Yeah,
you're seeing it here first.
Yeah, keep your emotions in check, everyone. I know it's going to be an emotional viewing, but Quarter Black, there you go.
It's beautiful.
I think all of those other things.
You know, I think the sequel's going to be big.
You sure it's Little
It's gonna make waves for sure.
With like more curiosity, more excitement,
that mermaid's
from a
displaced a
place
lot of
of
water.
just exploring and like enjoying life, and
I think
less of a
the
place
Little
of
Manatee
thinking
is
that
more
this next new
appropriate.
thing is going to solve us, right?
I think we got a sequel to Moby Dick.
I like
There's your
when I
white
put
whale
it.
right there.
It's Free
no,
Willy.
It's Black Whale.
When I put it in the chat, I saw the moment Quarter Black saw it. I saw it. He's like, and I was like,
it's because I saw you like it was like you were talking to somebody off screen. I'm like, who are you talking to? Quarter Black?
Yeah.
I feel like I
Brought it
watched
up.
the trailer for the Concord game.
To answer your question about how J.J. Abrams kept on, it was only when the Writers Guild struck did he have his deal cancelled. Up until then, he was in one of these deals where he gets paid so much a year.
It's first right of refusal.
First refusal.
Yeah.
Of the thing.
Okay.
And if he doesn't make anything, or if you make something and don't take it up, he's just still getting money.
He
anyway,
still
so
gets
doesn't
that
really
money.
care.
That's money is like a retainer, right? And then he gets more money. He pitched an HBO series that cost like $200 million, and they said no. Zaslav said no. They already started the animated series thing. He wants to remake Krull. Fuck that. Just go watch the original. It's great. Not sure if it needs to be remade. To be honest with you, kind of its time.
You could apply it to a lot of things. Did The Crow need to be remade?
Beetlejuice.
No, really.
But when Phoebe Waller-Bridge was getting
yeah.
20, I think it was like 20 million a year off Amazon. You can imagine the money J.J. Abrams would have been getting in his contract.
I am very interested in this J.J. Abrams thing. I know Chris Gore and others have said like he's in director's jail. I don't understand that. Like Ryan Johnson's not in director's jail, you know, like Michael Bay's not in director's jail. Ryan's not in director's jail.
Ryan Johnson has produced like commercially successful products ultimately. Like as much as we hate The Last Jedi, it made money.
Ryan Johnson is making movies for Netflix. He's not making movies for theaters, which still bring in the most money.
Yeah, but he got
Jar Jar has
paid.
not.
He got
M. Night
paid
Shyamalan Ding Dong did his time in director's jail, came back, had a little redemptive arc, and now is probably headed right back to it.
Well, I mean, he tried it with Trap, like fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like JJ is like still doing a lot behind the scenes, and he doesn't want to be in front because he's fucked up so much, and he knows how hated he is. That's what I think. Like I just think he knows. Like he was at the Democratic convention and nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about it. He was at the DNC.
I did.
So well,
I did.
I know you did. But yeah,
making sure that there's no more white comfort, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard at work.
But it is interesting because I mean he is, you know, Spielberg's boy, which Spielberg, I don't know what Spielberg's up to these days. I'm not really. I mean he's older, obviously. How old is Spielberg now?
He's got to be
late
like
70s.
around the same age as Lucas, right?
Yeah, late 70s.
Making a bunker.
He's doing about the same amount as Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
These days.
What's the last like successful project Spielberg had? Was it the Ready Player One?
The thing with Ready Player One is
he wasn't
Spielberg
Avatar.
probably
He was
barely
just-
did any fucking actual directing
Yep.
because
Mm-hmm.
80% of that movie is just digital.
And it's so funny
He
because
got
like
some
that movie
awards.
bears almost no resemblance to the actual book. Like it's so different, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he got some awards contention for The Fablemans, but that wasn't a big box office hit. so.
Jar Jar will make a comeback of some kind. He'll probably what he did best, and I put that in air quotes, is produce television.
I liked a lot of his, but
I think that's what he
a
did
few of
best.
his movies too. So,
but speaking of old guys who aren't like doing anything, George R. R. Martin is in the news. This will perk your ears, Jeremy. Recently, he made a post. There's been a lot of talk of House of the Dragons. Not so great ending, although I really did like the show all the way up to the ending. And he put up a post a few days ago saying basically he hasn't been writing because of the rise of fascism.
Oh, that's it?
And somebody pointed out on
literally like
finishing Winds of Winter.
any excuse with George. It's like,
And,
what's
yeah.
the next problem that you've got to tackle?
He's like, I watched a documentary about World War II and I'm still really shaken up about it. So, yeah.
Really affected me.
And he took some issue with Ryan Condell, even though he completely signed off on this scene, that they basically got rid of a character. The blood and cheese thing, we talked about it a lot on our live streams that you can go watch anytime you want. They fucked up the blood and cheese scene, and they got rid of a character. And that character is pretty important to the story. That character was always meant to die, but why am I brain farting on the name, Ryan? It is Malor. Yeah. And,
basically, Malor, usually there's 3 kids. There's the twins, the boy and the girl twin, and then another son, Malor.
Yeah.
And then when Jaehaerys gets killed, Malor is the youngest, and one witnesses his brother's head being chopped off in front of him, and he knows that his mother chose his brother to actually live instead of him. But he now becomes the heir, and of course they need to try to get him to safety. That doesn't end up very well. He gets essentially torn to pieces, like by the small folk, trying to get Malor later in the story. But yeah, go ahead.
What's the consensus on House of the Dragon? I mean, I heard really good stuff about the first season. So what's the consensus now as to where it stands? Are people very, very happy? Are they kind of falling off? Like what's
the first season was really, really good. And at times like great. Second season drop off. I still think there was some great moments. One of the biggest problems is that ending and the fact that during production, during the writer's strike, they got told, hey, you're not going to have the budget to do this massive battle at the end. So we're going to cut the season from 10 episodes down to 8. It was during the writer's strike and they couldn't rewrite it. So essentially the season ended on what felt to a lot of people like, okay, this would have been all right if it was like the 8th episode or the 7th episode, but not for the season finale. Turns out that's kind of what it was. I still think overall people think that the show is solid and one of the better shows we're seeing right now. But there are, some things that they're doing in terms of choices they made that people don't agree with.
I think it's still generally well received. I just think that not that many people are interested in it, which is a real shame. I think it's got nowhere near the impact on the cultural footprint that Game of Thrones had at its peak. It's not that.
Yeah.
No, but it was still like what people were upset about is they wanted more. They just so it's not like this sucks. It's you fucking gave us blue balls. We wanted more. So that's still positive, right? The last scene was fucking cringe. It was forced. It was cringed. It was there for the fucking message. There's no other way around saying that. But up to that, everything else made sense, and they fucked up the character of Allison with that final scene. I won't say beyond repair, but at least what we've seen so far.
I think as well, like Viserys was very much the glue that held season 1 together. And I was worried, like, without him, what are we going to have? Like, is there a character that we're going to root for? And we kind of don't have that now. Like, when it came to Rhaenyra and Alicent, like, which one's going to prevail, how they're going to fare and stuff, I find myself not really caring either way. Because I don't particularly like either of those characters. I don't like they're well written for sure, but like they're not. Neither of them are particularly like good people. And so there's not a clear like, well, this is a person I really support or I agree with or whatever. They're both kind of shitty people that done shitty things and failed in a lot of ways. And it's just, it leans so heavily into that moral ambiguity that there's almost nothing to draw from it.
Exactly.
By the time you're
And
done.
that was my concern with the show, because they're driving it through Alicent and Rhaenyra. Alicent disappears from the story. She pops up here and there, but you can't drive the story through her because she's not part of it after this. Rhaenyra is there. She's there, but she's not out there fighting battles. And what you're doing is you're adapting a history where George just said, this event happened. This event happened. So you're not following the through line of a character.
Yeah, you're adapting a Wikipedia versions of hey, big battles of World War II. And like you're following through that. And it's like, here were some of the key players, but you don't know George anything about the people themselves.
It's actually kind of scary how much, because I know people have said this before, like George essentially took the War of the Roses in the UK as part of British history and just adapted it into a story. And it's actually quite scary how fucking closely it mirrors that, to the point where it's like, did you put any real like imagination into this, or did you just like take historical events, change the characters' names, and then away you went? Because that's kind of what this show feels like now.
Yeah.
He also copied from Lord of the Rings. He also copied from Wheel of Time. He did a lot of
Oh,
copying.
Babylon 5. He copied from Babylon 5 too. So,
but he didn't like Battlestar Galactica. I learned after Open Bar last night.
But one thing I did like that he said in this is that you can have a relatively small change in a story that has ripple effects that go on and like magnify over time that you can't predict. Oh. And it's the same that we found in Rings of Power. Like if you remove the Catholicism from then it doesn't work. Or we introduced Adar, we made Sauron a love interest, and then you end up with the rings in the wrong order, and you're constantly trying to plaster over mistakes, all because you made a minor change right at the start.
But okay, so you just said George didn't like Battlestar Galactica, Drinker?
Apparently
the newer one.
He rallied his supporters to like condemn the finale of the show.
Yeah, because he hated the finale because he doesn't. He's an atheist, so that's his whole thought, and that's interesting because we can pop this up. I actually like the ending of Battlestar Galactica quite a bit because they really do mix in theology with science fiction, right?
They do their best. I think they didn't quite know where they were going with it. Like they
had to
built
rush
up a
it.
lot of stuff that was like super interesting, and it feels like they kind of rushed the ending, and they didn't quite know how to like.
They did because they were going to get canceled.
Yeah, but like I think the thing I remember about Battlestar Galactica is the aesthetic of it, the gritty survival story, the human element of it, just the people in horrible situations having to struggle and survive. That was what like really set it apart from its original source material.
I
The
remember how hot
quasi-religious
this
like
was.
overtones were a bit weird and not all that fleshed out a lot of the time.
So it had some great twists as well. Like there's a moment in Knights of the Old Republic which is a twist which I've always remembered. It's always the same with Battlestar Galactica. There's a moment in that which is like, oh my god, I can't believe you're doing this. And most shows don't have that. They don't have the intelligence to set up something like that, which is that satisfying.
And most hardcore sci-fi shows or books don't even like deal with it. They keep them so separate. So like, it kind of was ballsy to do that with a show. And I can see how George mobilizing his fans. Hey, at least they finished their fucking show, George. Okay, we're at 4,800 days over. Well, I think it's like 4,800. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. It's 4,008.
Fucking World War II was fought and won in the time it's taken you to write Winds of Winter, George. You fat fuck.
Drunk 3PO hit 100,000 subscribers, okay?
Right?
Like, I mean, that just shows you how long this has taken.
We're going on our fourth presidential term since his last book. All right. So here is you retweeted this earlier today, and I couldn't agree with this more. I've said this before. Nihilism isn't really the most satisfying story. It's George R. R. Martin is a Twilight Zone writer, is a science fiction writer. He writes short stories. I've read a lot of them, not all of them. I like some of his TV scripts. He's really good at that stuff, but he's really good with the morality tale that ends a little fucked up. Not big on happy endings, George R. R. Martin is. And this guy nails it. This is why we're not getting the Winds of Winter. So do you want to read this, Drinker? Or should I get somebody else who is literate.
All right, well, I'm still
say
sober enough to do it, so you might have to scroll down as I progress through it. But okay, here's what Song of Ice and Fire actually wants to be, and why George can't finish it. The Song of Ice and Fire isn't actually supposed to be dark, Machiavellian, hopeless, or a subversion of Tolkien at all. It's supposed to start that way. The details may be complex, but the formula is simple. Low fantasy version of the British Isles torn apart by a multi-sided Machiavellian power struggle loosely based on the War of the Roses. Things are bad because of the Machiavellian power struggle. In the background, subtle hints of an external, magical, otherworldly threat. Warring factions scoff and ignore it at first. Enter the high fantasy tropes. Prophesized hero emerges to unite the morally grey factions into an unambiguously good, pro-civilization force to confront and defeat the unambiguously evil threat to all of life.
And this is Brandon Sanderson. Like, this is literally the Stormlight Archive. Everything starts in a broken world, and then you move through to the heroes.
It's a classic tale.
Full transition in the end to epic Tolkien-esque high fantasy, played straight rather than subverted. Yeah, fucking imagine that. Imagine genuine like emotions put into things. Heroism triumphant, humanity triumphant, the realm unified in peace and prosperity. Roll the credits. Were the story to be completed thus, completed as it wants to be completed, as it yearns to be completed, every dark, gritty Machiavellian moment would be fully justified. Every chapter and scene filled with thugs and villains and no heroes at all would be fully justified, because they would merely serve to emphasize the rarity of heroes and the need for them, because they would make the arrival of a true hero that much more satisfyingly written, late but not too late that he arrived. A Song of Ice and Fire doesn't really want to be a subversion of Tolkien at all. It wants to be a path out of darkness and into light. It wants to be a study in how Tolkien is deeply relevant, even to a gritty, morally grey world. This is what George knows it needs to be, but George cannot write it. Why? Because he's a socialist and a boomer. And he's fucking lazy. Socialism's motivational core is envy, and it's one that's underlying rule is thou shalt not be better than me.
Wow.
The boomer's single guiding principle is whatever makes me feel pleasure right now is good, and whatever makes me feel bad right now is evil. Take these together and you get someone who has a real problem with heroes. Heroes are, by definition, the best of us, at least on some dimension. And if your underlying motivation is envy, standing next to one is going to make you feel bad. This means that socialists, boomers, and socialist boomers tend not to want to believe in heroes and heroism. They want to convince themselves that anything which appears good is secretly evil, actually, and that anyone who makes them feel or look bad is obviously evil because reasons. So when they see a hero, they tend to call them a fascist. Of course, when they see a fascist, they also call him a fascist. But that's just coincidence, because they'll call anything fascist. Random passers-by, buildings, rocks, trees, squirrels, anything. Because they want to feel morally superior to him. The only way that they can admit that someone has a moral compass at all is that if they can feel superior to him in some way, usually by portraying them as naive and hence doomed to failure, because he is not empowered by cynicism and selfishness to pursue the most efficient path to whatever. So if old George thinks that everyone who appears good is either secretly evil or openly stupid, then writing a character with heroic impulses is going to be tough, and writing how they succeed is impossible. This is why George can write characters with noble motives, Jon Snow, Eddard Stark, etc., but he keeps making them fail. You see, in George's world, heroism must be a sham or a weakness, because then George's own bad character is wisdom and enlightenment instead of lack of moral virtue. If heroes are all frauds and suckers, then George is being smart because he has seen through the whole heroism thing. If heroes are real, then they do sometimes succeed, and they do make the world better for everyone. Then George is just a fat, lazy, cynical old man who doesn't want to finish his art for the sake of art or integrity, because he only ever wanted money, and now he has more than he knows what to do with. In order to finish the story, George would need to have an awakening of virtue. He would first have to develop a sense of integrity, a desire to fulfill his promises, even when no one can or will punish him for doing so. or sorry, not doing so, he would have to develop a sense of humility, because to write a better person than he is, he would have to admit to himself that he is such a thing, that people can be better, and that trying to be better is an actual worthy goal, not just the act of falling for a con game run. Sorry, for a con game run to control you. The longer someone goes without admitting their faults, the harder those faults are to admit to, because they have been more deeply invested in. And this means that he would also have to develop the courage to admit to himself that he is, in fact, a fat, lazy, cynical old coward, and that Tolkien, who he envies and despises, was the far better man all along.
George is Tolkien's bitch. Thanks,
Sorry,
bro. I forgot how long that was. I probably should have taken over.
I didn't do it justice. Yeah,
That was beautiful.
I was starting to run dry towards the end.
Get some booze in this man now.
Take a sip. Take a sip of water.
The drink was kicking in as it went on.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got my lubricant right here. He was absolutely fucking right, though.
Fucking
this guy
100%
was right
right.
on the money about George and like everything that his writing is based on.
So
I think this is
you're this is why you will never ever see the end of the book, and I don't think you're going to see wins a winner.
Yeah, that's like the question. It's not even a question of will he finish it. The question is, will he get out the second to last book now?
Yeah,
that's what the
How many
conversation's
more
changed
books are there supposed
He's
to be?
2. So
Two.
He's got this one, I don't know, like 50-60% complete. He'll do that maybe, and then he'll die, and then he'll either have to ghostwrite it, or like that'll just be it. It'll stop.
Yeah, and he's got to finish Dunk and Egg. We hope he doesn't.
That's 2 more books in Dunk and Egg, right?
He's got to finish Dunk and Egg, Fire and Blood Part 2. Sorry,
George loves
Hopeless.
George loves publicity and adoration and the quick and easy wins. He loves going to premieres and conventions and like having adoration from fans. People just want to meet him, take his picture, do interviews, all that stuff. All of the things that are easy, the schmoozing. He doesn't want to do the hard work of actually sitting down at his computer to write a book. That's the problem. And like he's at the point where he's too old and he's too lazy and he's too unmotivated to get himself to do it.
Yeah, just get a ghostwriter.
He's already rich, and so a lot of the incentive or drive seems to have been
and it happened
away,
later on in
and
his life, right? So he wants to enjoy it while he can, and nobody blames him for that.
He was like grinding for a long time earlier in his life.
He was, yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
And like as a writer myself, I understand that that appeal of the position he's in. Shit, man, I'd love to be in that position.
People would
where
kill
it's like
to be in that position.
all your books are getting turned into TV shows and stuff. That's cool as fuck, man. But never forget what put you where you are. It's your books, and it's the fans of your books that supported you throughout all those years when you weren't a big deal. That's who you owe a debt to. And I've been asked about this before. Like, does an author owe anything to their fans?
Yes.
Do they have to complete something? And I say, yes, they fucking do. Maybe not legally, maybe not in any like binding term or whatever, but you have entered into an agreement with the people that have agreed to support you and make you the success that you are. And if you don't make good on that, then you're a fucking fraud and a hack, and you don't deserve the success that you've got.
Well, the issue is
Well
that
said.
The reason why you owe them that book is because it's a duty. But duty wouldn't come under the kind of the socialist lazy point of view. It's the same reason that you can't finish the book because of heroism. Duty is something that a hero would do. I do this even though I sacrifice for it because nobody else will, and so I have to because I have the power to.
This is the core of like why I start to get pissed off with his philosophy for writing. And I've said this before, like I'm not going to take away from his actual writing ability, like his ability to put words to paper when he eventually gets round to doing it. He's clearly been massively competent and good at what he does there. But man, that philosophy for storytelling is so bleak, it's so nihilistic, it's so contrary to the human spirit. I want to read things like this and be inspired. I want to be uplifted by it ultimately. Yeah, there could be travails and trials and difficulties and challenges along the way. People can strive and fail, but I want them to ultimately succeed. I want heroes to eventually emerge, worthy people who deserve to like make the world a better place. That's what you should do with stories. It's your ability to uplift the human spirit. And if you don't want to do that, ultimately, where are you going to take it to? Everything is pointless. Nobody's good or bad. It's all just people struggling to survive. What are you teaching your audience then? Like, what are you giving them to grapple onto? What are you giving them to be inspired by? Nothing. This is why Tolkien is celebrated 50, 60, 100, 200 years after his death. People will remember him. Will they remember George R.R. Martin? I don't know.
For not finishing his books.
For not finishing his books. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be remembered for
Can't
something.
choose your legacy.
That's
for
also
the
why
record,
there won't be
I
classes.
Yeah, go ahead, Odin.
I was gonna say, like, that's the reason why there's entire courses dedicated to Tolkien. They're not gonna be entire courses dedicated to this guy.
Yeah, for the record, I don't want to read stories about heroes and like uplifting. I like characters that are more miserable than I am. Right, that's what I want. Makes me feel a little better about myself.
Misery porn is good in
right.
doses.
Yeah,
like,
but like,
ultimately, I
start
think
that way.
the reason, obviously I'm kidding a little bit, but the reason I think that, in addition to all the, like, that laundry list of things, is why George has struggled with the ending of the book, because Game of Thrones season 7 and 8 were so like poorly received the way that they were. It has put so much pressure on him to have him like fix it. Oh, I'm sure when George tells it, it'll be great. The only reason it's bad because Dan and Dave fucked it up, all these things. I think that added such a new layer of pressure on him. And I think he feels his legacy is more intact if he just never finishes it, with that hypothetical of him finishing it off in a very satisfying way versus if he fucks it up. And I think he's just really a coward.
Right. Is he afraid it's going to suck a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I think the problem that storytelling has is
possibility.
He wouldn't be in this position if he'd fucking finished his books before the show got to its final season. He had 8 seasons, 8 years to finish his novels, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, imagine if he wrote a better book and then the series was worse, and people were like, this is what you should have done. Then he would have gone down as a hero.
If the book existed, the show would have been better.
I mean, what's
His ending would have been better than
his
the
bigger
show.
problem is like correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, but like from probably book 3 or 4 onwards, he massively broadened out the scope of the series, like to the point where it was unmanageable.
Yeah.
Now he's got so many plot threads, so many characters, so many arcs. He doesn't know what to do with it all, and he doesn't know how to end it. He's made it too big.
The first 3 books came out within
finish.
2 years of each other. They were really tight. They were like really well told stories, and then it just branched out. And then A Feast for Crows was just a split in 2 book. A Dance with Dragons was a book split in 2 that he still took 5 years to re-edit. And with The Winds of Winter, there's a bunch of chapters that he cut out of A Dance with Dragons. So like he had chapters already for The Winds of Winter, like ready to go, that he cut out of that book. And like, who knows what he's written? It sounds like he's written nothing for the last 2 years, like next to
I
nothing.
don't think it's too big because he's got so much money. I keep bringing up Brandon Sanderson, but he's a good kind of other end of this. Like he wrote 5 books for his wife, whether he's going to publish them or not, just because he likes writing. But there's he employs people whose sole job it is just to read his books and put it all into a big document, so he knows where everyone is at all times in the timeline, so we can all do it, and he can go and ask them whenever they want and just look it up. It's like his own Wikipedia thing. George R.R. Martin could easily do that. He's got the money to. He could build the system, but he can't be bothered. And there's in Stormlight Archive, there's a moment where the world is so horrific. The guy's going to jump off a mountain, and the one thing brings him back, and then he goes on to be a hero. And there is something. It's Tolkien's idea of there's something in this world worth fighting for, and that is normally your wife, your children, your family, your immediate kind of people. And I'm not sure that if you nowadays in modern times, when that's kind of denigrated, it's not like that. We need to split up people. We need to value other things. I don't think they genuinely have a reason why they should do anything, why they should fight, why they should go on in the world. And so the only thing they end up with is immediate, instant pleasure. And so there's no delayed gratification or reason to actually fight for anything.
Well, here's the thing, right?
We got to get into the soups. Go quick, Shad.
Okay, so this is the thing. If George wasn't a nihilist and he didn't have all these stupid views about heroes and all that stuff, finishing the book, knowing how to finish it, would be really easy. Happy ending, heroes win, done. And that's the thing. That's what audiences want. That's what they, that whole tweet that we went through, it's pretty clear. And that's what they would want in the story. But it seems like because he's having issues is that he doesn't know how to finish it, which is really funny because it shouldn't be that hard. Just figuring out that people like a happy ending, not that difficult.
or
it seems like
satisfying. I mean, nobody's
Sure.
expecting happy from Game of Thrones, but you saw the ending. It's in Game of Thrones season 8. You saw some form of the ending of the book. Daenerys is going to get stabbed. She's going to die. She's going to burn King's Landing.
Bran's going to be king.
Bran's going to be king.
If they have the Night King get killed by fucking Arya,
there is no fucking Night King.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
there you go, George. That would be the
point.
most subversive ending that you could do. Do
Yeah.
a happy ending.
no Night King yet.
I do think that it's going to make way more sense, like for Daenerys to burn it down. I think that
Yes.
Aegon is going to go to King's Landing, and I think that she's going to see like the love and adoration that who people think is Aegon is getting, and it's just going to fucking trigger her. She's going to go nuts after everything she's been through. Like that, which is much more reasonable than what happened in the show. But I just don't know if it's going to be as satisfying as everyone hopes.
I do like the idea of like the gradual emergence of high fantasy from low fantasy. The idea of like, you know, like, oh, we're so subversive and everyone's a fucking horrible cunt to everyone else. And then
like as
gradually,
magic is slowly returning to the world, you find these true heroes that were necessary in that age.
That was the idea.
That are returning just like they
they
did during a long
emerge.
night.
The idea of A Song of Ice Fire, we saw
threat to
these like
humanity.
horrible things happen, and we need to see the payback. We need to see the justification that like he thought instead of Arya just taking care of everything at the end.
Yeah.
So, but we're not going to.
Girls
because
get it done. so.
Poor Jon
do get
Snow
it done, yeah.
still bleeding out at Castle Black for 13 years. Poor guy. Now we're off to Soups. You okay, Draker?
I'm so okay.
Okay.
Love it. I don't want it to end.
You're not blind drunk yet.
Roland the Wretched has returned. The man with the waxed balls has returned. 4 parts.
That's a bold man right there.
It's a bold man to admit it. And then deal with the fact that we're never going to let him forget it for the rest of his life. For $100 says, rewriting Ripley has come for Gary, Jeremy, and Ryan. Funny how they left Drinker off the list. I know.
Yeah.
He has more subs than Gay Trio put together.
I mustn't have posted about the Acolyte enough. I must have made more. I should have made more videos about it.
Do better,
So
Senator.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to try and do better next time.
Ian was upset he didn't get a name drop, and I told him he needs to be more offensive. Or maybe rewriting Ripley couldn't see him. That's what I think. They just couldn't see him because he's too short. It's a short joke.
Look down here.
Good thing he's not here. Speaking of gay, what is up with Jeremy Prime crap? Is Jeremy trying to say he is part of a multiverse? And if he is, does that mean another reality? There is a straight Jeremy? Yes, it does.
Could it be?
Personally,
I don't know. There's a trans Jeremy over there at the quartering, so I could be the gay
Oh.
one. So maybe there's a straight one somewhere.
Quartering catching strays tonight. That's what you get for firing me, you bastard. I got to catch up to where I was now. And if he is, does that mean another reality? There is a straight Jeremy. Personally, I thought D Gay Cobra was a perfect name for Jeremy. Still is. Between the end of the Acolyte and the beginning of the cock rings of Prime, there seems to be some hope on the horizon. Yes, it's true. Melissa may finally find something that has a lower finishing rate than Gary. Whoa!
Ooh, wow.
Damn.
I think he's used that
Dang,
one before.
man.
I
Yeah,
feel like that sounds familiar
Yes,
to
he
me.
But it still works.
It still is good though. An oldie but a goodie.
It is fun
Gary-
beating a
Gary-
dead horse. He does mention that there.
Gary uses that line a lot. He's like, it still works. It still works.
It's still good.
Yeah.
It's an old meme, but it checks out.
Wait till you're all 55. Shut the fuck up. Okay.
Gary
Today's
says,
read.
I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah, I couldn't have been a better.
Today's read, 2 Timothy 4:7. Gary fought the good fight, but failed to finish the race. Hail FNQ, Fellowship, Mods, Chat, Baby Thor, Pizza Time, Hawaiian Pizza, Don Vosk, and Gary are gaily failing to finish the song. Until next time, so long, gay boys! Dan is a little busy being oppressed by his dictator right now. So like, I'm cutting him a little slack. All right.
He got like really upset at me the other night. Like, I don't know if he's on his period or what, but we were on.
He's been taking a lot of dictators recently. Okay.
It was pretty offensive what you did, though. It was pretty offensive.
What did I do?
Exist?
Yeah, you're just you. You're just Ryan. Give some context to the audience.
Okay, so we're on Jay's 100,000 subscriber stream. Shout out to Drunk 3PO. And me and Dan were on there. Dan felt he got disrespected because Jay didn't introduce him when he got brought on. But he goes on this rant. He's like, I just want to thank Jeremy and Jay and Krista for, reaching out to me, making sure I'm okay and all these things. Craig and Ryan, you guys never asked me about anything. You never check in on me. And I'm like, the fuck you want me to check in on you? Like, if you die, you die. Like, what am I supposed to do if you die in a civil war in Brazil?
If he dies, he dies. He dies.
Exactly. And then I said the truth. I said, the only people I check in on, hey, you doing okay, are women I want to have sex with. There's no reason to check in with a guy friend. Go fuck yourself.
And then he sent you a super chat on daily at passive aggressive when I saw that one this morning.
Yeah, he was like, hey, Ryan, just checking in, seeing how things are going. How are you, the family, your life goals, your sexual life, like all that stuff, yeah. Is your country in civil war? Yeah.
You turned into Tommy from The Room. How is your sex life?
Anyway, how's your sex life?
That's what he said, yeah.
Needs another dictator in his life.
Oh, man.
He's got
Hail to Dan Vask, though. Hail to Dan Vask. And his war-torn country with terrible
and his war-torn ass.
War-torn.
His terrible currency.
Oh. Andrew CR, 3 parts for $69.69, Jeremy.
Woo! Jack Murphy in the house. Woo!
I love the part of Rings of Power where Anatar tells Celebrimbor, I think the first part of this issue that you should be articulated is alloys. This kind of fancy thing, first of all, is 2 metals. But ultimately what it is, it's about blacksmith learning. And so the blacksmith is taught a part of the issue here, and the information is going into the blacksmith that will then determine we can predict then if
where the fuck is this going?
I don't know. I'm just reading it.
It's hard to tell whether it's the actual comment or Gary reading it.
It's all about mystery. If we think about the information going in, what then will be produced? I must scroll up now, or scroll down, as the kids say. In terms of rings and alloys that may be made in the process. In other news, Concord turned out to be a legit LGBTQ plus representation. It came out, no one cared, and it killed itself. Hail Mage iDots 199. That's a Geeks and Gamers fan right there. Thank you. I read that perfectly, by the way.
You read that perfectly.
Fucking flawless, bro.
By the way, Gary, where are we going to be in October?
I'm going to be in Peru.
No, you're not.
Ooh. Yes, I am.
We are.
After Peru.
After Peru. I'll be at home. I'll be at home in San Antonio. Are you talking about the meetup?
Yes, that was like a total segue, Gary. By the way, Gary, where are we gonna be? Like, Peru?
Trick or treating? Trick or treating around the neighborhood.
I don't know.
I'm going to be about $10 million for this kind of entertainment. Ricky Bobby's. I have no other information other than Wednesday the 23rd. Our meetup is at Ricky Bobby's, and they are going to handle the RSVP. It holds a lot of people. So this is where Brandon, the great Brandon Herrera, the AK guy, is had his political event where, damn, he got so close to winning. 600 votes, man. 600 fucking votes.
Close.
And now I see that fucking Tony Gonzalez shit all over my neighborhood. It makes me sick. But yeah, so that's where it's going to be before SpaceCon, where Geeks and Gamers and Star Wars Theory. You're welcome to come, Drinker. You want to come out to San Antonio, dude? in October?
Well, in October, I'm going to be in actually New England. I'm going to be touring around.
Oh, there you go. Well,
yeah, just on vacation. And then in November, I'm going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. For a
Damn.
convention
Wow.
there, like the Grand Rapids Comic Con.
Sweet.
So,
Right on.
nice.
Oh, cool. Shit. I might have to
Yeah,
go up there.
in Grand Rapids. I was like, why?
I've never been there in my life. Basically.
Well, Star Wars Theory is going to be
then-
there. Oh, go on.
Yeah, and I'm also going to be like while I'm there, I'm going to be meeting up with the residents of Evil guys. So I'm going to be doing some filming with them.
Nice.
I think,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we'll do some live streams and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I got to get with you about MegaCon next year. I talked to you a few weeks ago
Yeah,
about
talk
that,
to
so,
me.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
So,
So,
yeah,
cool.
Eric July, Star Wars Theory, Geeks and Gamers, yours truly, X-Ray Girl, some more Texans, and yeah, that's in October at SpaceCon. The meetup will be at Ricky
We don't
Bobby's.
plan shit out.
And
I
then-
I throw it to Gary, and Gary had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. I think we have all
You
this
in
figured
October.
out.
Well,
so-
I think I got a dentist appointment.
Probably make a couple videos, you know.
It was the same energy as, oh, a couple big gulps, huh? All right. Same energy.
Noons has gifted 20 Nerdrotic memberships for $100. Hail Noons! You will be blessed with another Rings of Power watch party on Thursday morning. I'm sure you'll love it. And I got to, anybody's welcome. Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, because I'm in Texas now. The Grand Tour's final episode. I'm going to do a watch party. So it premieres at 7 p.m. Central. Going to
On
watch that.
What day? Thursday.
Thursday. So after open bar, after you like 2 hours after open bar, it usually ends. Might have to stay up late, but you can join me.
Yeah, that's gonna be a special one. That.
Yeah, got to do
I
that.
think it's gonna be quite emotional. I think it is.
Yeah, that trailer is like, whew,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite shows ever. They're the best trio ever. They have the best chemistry.
Yeah.
They are the gold standard, and it's the end of an era. So what a bummer. What a
It
bummer.
really
Grand
is.
Tour,
Yeah.
and of course Top Gear. Richard Swinburne has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for 50. Thank you. Tomato Truck for 40. Hail FNT and rest in peace, Paul Harrell. Yeah, rest in peace. We lost an amazing man and a YouTube legend. He put me on the road to Brandon Herrera and many other channels. His influence will go on for many years. God bless y'all, weirdos. And yeah, rest in peace. Fuck cancer. Fuck cancer. Rich Uncle Cheapskate, 2 parts for $100 total. I always assumed the way the orcs in Lord of the Rings multiplied was brutal and horrific because everything about them is brutal and horrific. My theory was they reproduced the same way Native Americans in Bone Tomahawk reproduced, or like the internet theories on how the Reavers in Firefly multiply. I would say more Firefly. Okay. Did anyone else on the panel think that way? I thought they like left a litter. I thought they were like pigs. The orcs were like pigs. You know, there'd be a run.
Yeah.
They have sex and they have kids. Yeah.
Yes.
I think the books were always like vague about this. Like they almost spawned like fungus or something. Like they just multiply.
Oh, like
the book
spores.
says the book specifically says they multiply in the same manner as the children of Iluvatar.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So they
and men are referred to as multiplying too. Like they say the race of man multiplied. So yeah, they definitely have sex, but I don't think they're in the Mordor suburbs getting ready for soccer practice. You know, with the kids.
Look,
and taking them to-
honestly, when you're Scottish, it's any port in a storm. Okay, so like I've dated worse. That's for
I
sure.
feel like they tried to make them sympathetic. The next episode, first time you see him, ugliest orc you've ever seen, drooling blood out of his mouth.
Right.
I'm like, you've
You're like-
immediately destroyed your own effort.
Well,
The issue to me is not the fact, hey, there's an orc child. This and that. The issue is they tried to make them into this sweet little family unit, and they just want a place. These
Yeah.
poor refugees are just looking for a place to stay. Like that's.
I'm telling you, man. Like, there's going to be a scene where they're marching off to war, and there'll be orcs there with like peace banners saying like "Make love" or "Make orcs not war" or something.
Yeah.
Or "Orc life matter."
Hashtag free Mordor. Is
Well,
that what you're saying?
we had some thumbnails that we were trying out. Perry put a little sign on my review, and I went with Live, Laugh, Lacerate. But there's Mordor, Sweet Mordor. We also thought about Free Mordor, like Free Palestine. I also put From the Anduin to the Sea. These are things that we just thought about, but decided not to go with. Probably. But yeah, Perry was having a good time with that. And yeah, if you thought the taco thumb was bad, bro.
No. Here's
we
the
descended.
Funny part. So this rewriting Ripley bullshit. So someone, rewrite the YouTube response to rewriting Ripley got like, I don't know, 5-6 million views. Okay. 10,000 likes. Okay. So then some weirdo was bragging because someone quote tweeted that the team YouTube tweet with your taco thumbnail. And that tweet, because they were trying to call you out, say, oh, they're racist. That tweet got like 15,000 likes. You're just making us look cooler when you share something like that. And then in the comments of that, the original poster, Jay talked about this today. What was the comment? He's like,
oh, it was basically like a lot of Mexicans said that this was really funny. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Like he's like, the OP was like, I'm having a lot of Mexicans reach out to me and say this is a really funny thumbnail, so I'm not really sure what to think.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, this is what YouTube said was okay, by the way, and it's the taco about it thumbnail. And it got a bunch of likes, and he's like, for some reason, a lot of Mexicans are saying they find this funny and aren't offended.
Well, that's just encapsulates so much of the woke movement.
Out onto the fucking keyboard, and you can't stop yourself from hitting 10.
But that encapsulates most of the woke movement, which is people getting offended for other people.
For other people.
Exactly.
They should be offended.
It's such nonsense. These people don't live in the real world at all, man. They really don't.
I've got to respond to a message here as well from C.N. Johnson. It says, why is Drinker so mean to Scottish women? It's like, well, because I've had to look at them with my fucking eyes.
Are there really no cute ones?
Nah.
Depends how much you drink.
How much does he have to drink?
Like,
the alcoholic.
Have you seen Shrek?
Wayne Rooney?
Oh, shit. Oof. Rich Uncle Cheapskate. Did I?
It's just the last sentence.
It's the last sentence that I have. On that one.
Yeah. Just
Hit it, Garrett. Do. Thank you. Did anyone else on the panel
stop responding?
Did anyone else on the panel think they that way, or are you normal? None of us are normal here. Don't ever accuse us of that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought they like an orc, a female orc would have a litter. There'd be a runt. It would get eaten by the other orcs. And then somebody mentioned they'd be put into a pen, and whoever survived, became an orc. That's it. Lots of
basically like animals. There definitely wouldn't be Orc Daddy who's like, oh, do we have to go off to war again? I just want to protect my family and settle down and make a peaceful life for myself. Orcs do not think that way. They exist for war and battle and conquest and death. That's all
they're a corrupted,
created for
nasty form of life, and they're evil.
I think it was like, how the Dothraki were just like randomly going around raping women and stuff, like
at a wedding.
Yeah, like that's kind of how I figured orcs would.
They can't even keep it straight in their own series. In the next one, there's like, oh, Alf Blood better kill him. So you can't have it. We're peaceful and we just randomly hunt people.
You're asking a lot with consistency when it comes to Rings of Power. Okay, that is asking a lot. Gabriel Knight for $49.99. Recent news has shown online media has supported legacy media. This is why the left is lashing out to censor and deplatform. It is crucial. Trump wins. His successor wins in 2028 to ensure SCOTUS that preserves our First Amendment for the next 20 years. Yeah, we got to worry about the next 4 for sure.
Yeah.
But when you have leaders openly talking about misinformation, which it's funny how long that word's been around. It might be new to some people, but if you've been in the UFO space for a while or watched X-Files, they talk a lot about misinformation in season 1.
Yeah, I personally just stay away from divisive political discussions. So
I know. Yeah, we don't want to get political here, especially with Jeremy.
I don't like doing that. It makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Yep. Mark of reality for $50. Says apparently you're all Russian agents, and Russia is the sworn enemy of America. Not really. Communism is the sworn enemy of America, and the current major communist power is the People's Republic of China.
China.
It is kind of weird that China's cool, but Russia isn't. I just think they both suck. And there you go. Eric Sheedlow for 50. Hey. Oh, I got to do this in Tardo voice. Thanks for letting me know. I really appreciate that you put it in yellow letters, X-Ray Girl. It's very on brand.
Attention.
It's very on brand.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I thought it was like actually like you were complimenting her on the color choice or
fuck
something.
show do you think you're on?
Realizing you're just using a racial joke. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Jerry and fellow barges, son of Tardo, see old ING reviews. Nazis, 7 out of 10. Hitler, +1, 8 out of 10. Black Plague, 7 out of 10. Holocaust, 7 out of 10. Killing Field, 7 out of 10. Mongol Conquest, 7 out of 10. Slavery, 7 out of 10. Son of Tardo, Tink. IGM
Christ.
Dum Dums, Hall of You. Hail 199, lock it in, yay.
IGN
World War II. Perry tweeted out a fucking horrific video.
Whoa.
Right.
What
And
did he do?
I don't even want to show on here.
No.
I don't think we can.
I saw what Barry tweeted out the other day, or just like an hour ago.
The other day, hour ago.
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
Either one, you know.
The other hour.
I'm mixed up. I haven't had my coffee.
You watch The Rings of Power. I can see how you getting mixed up with time. Frosty Film Watcher for 50 says, Drinker, I hear you'll be at Grand Rapids. Yeah, he just said so.
Yay! I
God
will.
dang, Perry. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at this.
I'm gonna have to look at this now. Jeez, hang on. I'll finish this
Do,
though.
do you want me to read? I can read while you look at it.
Hang on. Whose balls do I have to?
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm actually
You know
really
what?
glad I didn't
Let me
it.
read this one, okay? X-Ray Girl. Okay.
Give him his moment.
Frosty Film Watcher for 50. Drinker, I hear you'll be at Grand Rapids. Whose balls do I have to fondle to get to this panel to come to the con in Wisconsin? To get this panel to come to the con in Wisconsin. The fellowship needs you here regardless. I'll be there. All hail Friday Night Tights. It's in November. You're going to be in Grand Rapids?
Yes.
I'll be in Wisconsin in November, which is close
Oh wow.
to Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be up there.
Wow.
It is
Well,
close
like,
as
stay
the
in
bird
touch, Gary,
flies.
and we can figure something out.
It is close as the bird flies, but there's a chance it's an 8-hour drive.
After seeing Perry Chan's video, I just want to say Zack Snyder was right.
Okay, you read the next one while I look up Perry's video.
I
Here,
drink,
I'll send you the
therefore
link.
I am has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. And then JH for $50 says, longtime lurker, I wanted to show my support. I might have gotten let go from my job today, but I'm hopeful new opportunities and a better job will come. Like
One door
you,
closed. Oh,
Nice.
sorry.
like you, nothing will keep me down.
Yeah, when one door closes, another opens. So you got good opportunities, hopefully, in the future for you.
Sorry to hear about that, though.
Yeah. You can see Gary dying there.
That video was something else, man.
Yeah, man.
What goes on in that boy's
German
brain
national
sometimes?
Oh shit! Oh, I thought Perry's like, man, our thumbnails are making the rounds today. I really want to apologize. I dial it down, and then he puts in parentheses, currently photoshopping Ryan's face on Amanda Stenberg.
Dialing it back there.
Whoa! Yeah, we're not showing that. You can go to Twitter.
Never beaten those allegations.
Not with that.
Gohan creates Prometheus Creations. for 50. Hail the 199 iDots. Hail the Fellowship FNT. Glad nature is slowly starting to heal. Question to Ryan and Shad. Would you guys like to be a co-host for 2 podcasts, one for military history / technology and one for medieval history / Asian culture? But definitely ask the white Australian Mormon about Asian culture. I think that's a good call right there.
I know a lot about the animes and the katanas.
There you go.
I don't
Animes,
just
those
because I was
historical
in the military-
documentaries.
Yeah, just because I was in the military doesn't necessarily mean I'll know everything about military history. But honestly, you can feel free to shoot me a DM or whatever. My schedule's pretty packed, but you never know.
Frozen Bill Killer for $49.99. If you guys have such influence over those shows, then why is Rings of Power getting a second season? Good question. Did your godlike cancellation powers only emerge for the one show, then disappear? If so, how can we bring them back? Been trying to figure that out. Okay. Maybe there's a blue pill for bringing those powers.
We're doing
back.
our best.
Yes.
We're doing our best.
Steve O has donated $49.99. Doesn't say anything. Walks away. Thank you. Gabriel Leginer for 5,000 Martian pesos. Shad, have you have Drinker here. Defend Cinderella, LOL. By the way, this is like $5, so don't get excited.
Drinker is a man of culture. I know he loves the Cinderella Disney remake.
I do. I'm with you on that,
To
Chad.
be honest, like Cinderella is like the least offensive out of all of them.
I
think
like that
came
one.
in the pre-woke
Yeah.
era, so that was fine.
I thought that was a very good movie.
So yeah, like mission accomplished on Shad's
Why
part.
are
He's
you
defended it. Like,
There you go.
fine.
There you go. Don't, he likes Twilight though, so
Yep.
you know we got that. So.
I was watching your stream, Jeremy, where you
Jeremy the Cyborg.
I just called you out for no
I know.
reason.
I was waiting for it when you're saying there's one thing that someone likes and everyone else hates. I was like, oh, gee, I wonder
Jeremy the Cyborg is gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for 50. Michael T for 2 parts for $40 says, I turned 28 today. Oh, well, congratulations.
I remember doing that.
I don't remember doing that.
It was a while ago.
A minute ago. When did I turned 28. 1998.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Thanks.
Is it how old he is? Is it was shocking to you?
No, it's just like I was 8 years old.
Thanks, X-Ray Girl. Today,
I was 14.
When Alro walked up
Now
to you,
he's
you are the
so
oldest of
fucking
us. It's
old,
like-
I'm shocked.
So I figured it was a good day to send my first super chat. Well, thank you. Thanks, guys, for all you do. It is much more than you know. Satan sought to destroy and remove stories. God inspired us to display mankind at their best, but it won't work. Stories of good and evil, heroism, freedom, and love will endure forever. So the devil can just eat shit. Keep speaking the truth. Things will turn around soon. May the force be with you. Oh, may the force be with you. Yeah, this is like.
That's a great message. Eat shit and die, Satan. I love that.
Yeah, forget that. Get behind me, Satan. Eat shit and die, bitch.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
No, I
Happy
think
28.
many have said that. We were saying this at the beginning of the year. Whether Hollywood's over it or not, the message is tired. It's really tired and it's petering out, and we just have holdovers from the strike. But with Marvel attempting to change their ways, Ryan, you were gone when I brought this up, but like Star Wars slowing things down. I mean, that's an acknowledgement. Now, things going to get fixed? Probably not. But at least as an acknowledgement, many, many years too late.
I think as well, the people who are most bought into it, seeing them slowly like realize that none of the things that they've been pushing have actually landed, and like they're gradually losing their power, they're losing their hold over pop culture. It's hilarious to watch.
It is beautiful.
Like watching the panic spread.
Oh, they hate it. It's one of those things where like they fight more violently right at the moment they know they're about to be defeated. Feels like that, where even this cancellation thing, that was an act of desperation. They know they're
Like
losing.
a bear with a trank dart in its neck.
Yes. It's a good analogy there. Except it's like a gay bear, but like
They're the
yeah,
Texans.
the bears from like San Francisco, not the bears from the forest.
This all monkeypox and AIDS infested bears.
How did it get monkeypox?
I want to. By the way, this is Michael Barutian. Okay, there you go. For 65. I want to say how much all of you helped me get through a rough stretch. Last year, I struggled hard with depression. My mother's showing signs of dementia. I had to put down my cat after 16 years and was fear of losing my job. All your channels, yes, even Jay, who helped keep me smiling and laughing through it all. The party animal streams, the real BBC, FNT, Forbidden Frontier, have been just a few of the many highlights. Thank you all so much. I did end up losing my job due to layoffs back in February. On the same day, I planned to propose my girlfriend. Fear not! While I had to delay the proposal, she has said yes and will be getting married at the end of the month. Hail! Endeavor to persevere.
I thought he was saying I had to put down my mom, and I was going to be like, oh, God.
Yeah. Sheesh, are you in Canada? No. Hey, endeavor to persevere. That's right. Stay strong. Also, so again, thank you. You all helped me so much this past year. Hail to you all. Hail to the fellowship and hail to the 199. Thank you.
Hail.
Hail.
Thank you.
Saint Samarian for $9.99. Hey, Gary, just finished watching you and Drinker crush it again on Piers Morgan. You need to have Esther on the show. I want to have Esther.
We should have her on. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a good guest.
She is brilliant. She's hilarious. And the way you represented the Misfits, hail to you and the Fellowship. Hell yeah, I was going to represent the Misfits. That was fun. That was fun. Listen, the gay comedian actually made me and Drinker laugh. He did put in a good joke. Like it actually happened. We were talking about gay James Bond, and he's all, well, every James Bond wants a gold finger or something like that. And it was like pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
I got a shout out. Hang on real quick.
What is he doing?
I have no idea.
Not sure.
Does he know what he's doing?
I don't think he does.
Yes, I know what I'm doing.
You know where he is. He can still hear us. Dang it.
Yes, I can still hear you.
You're bending over quite far then, Gary.
John Cafario is the guy who got me into the Misfits show, right? And he got me on the stage. I got that bass. I got to meet the band. He gave me a bunch of vinyl. There he is, rock legend. Shout out to him and his wife who listen to Friday Night Tights. And there he is with Weird Al Yankovic. Got some vinyl. Osaka pop star. So thanks, buddy. Thanks for getting me in. Had that stuff down there. It's like, I got to shout him out. So there it is. Hail the Misfits, by the way. That show was fucking great.
Also, Misfits is a great comedy.
Yes.
TV series.
Oh, it's a great show.
Griff Nizzle for...
I just real quick, I've been rewatching 24 ever since we talked about it the other day, Gary. I missed that show so much.
Like it was great.
Like 6 seasons of that are
fucking bangers, dude.
Kiefer Sutherland just fucking killing it season after season.
When I'm done with X-Files, I'm going right to 24.
Yeah, dude.
And X-Files is fucking great. God damn, I missed that show.
Once it hit its stride, it was some good stuff.
I think it hit its stride from day one, but that's me. I like the third Squeeze is like the third episode. That's an all-timer. That's an all-timer with Toombs, the guy who can stretch and stuff.
I think Scully might have been my first on-screen crush as well.
Aww.
Gillian Anderson was just perfect back in the day.
Take her 16.
Why do men love her so much?
Because she's hot, really fucking hot.
It's really not that complicated.
All right, I mean, do you want us to elaborate? She's really hot.
Kind of. Oh,
yeah.
She's not hot to Chrissy. Chrissy, explain why she isn't attractive.
She's not my type. I don't know. I guess is it because she's smart too? Is that what people like nowadays?
You don't like
No,
other
that's
redheads?
That actually is a drawback.
Nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
In fact, the dumber they are, the better.
Bro, that reminds me of what fucking movie is the Italian Job when Seth Green's watching Jason Statham go like trying to like
and
use that
he,
girl,
and he
he's like,
imitates him.
yeah, he's like,
what is he saying to her?
He's like, oh, you're not very smart, are you? No. Perfect.
That's a great movie. Too,
Seth
man.
Green
That
in the second
version-
episode of X-Files, by the way. And you're right, Italian Job is great.
Yeah.
Great fucking
Guys
movie.
just like
The
red.
Michael Caine original is like top tier. Though.
Yeah, it is. Both of them are great. Ticker 610 for $5. Is Chrissy related to Carol Burnett somehow? I swear she's the spitting image of her. Also, can we refer to Gary as the eldest from now on? Sure.
We already
The wisest
Already
of
do.
our clan.
I don't know about wisest.
Old when the world was young.
Yes. I don't know about wisest. No. Griff Nizzle for $10. Drinker, I think T0 is going to be your new pray hate to say. No girl bossing. She fights the T100 in the first 3 episodes and basically wins.
She doesn't really like it's like she barely scrapes through like staying alive, and she's never able to destroy it. So I can kind of get behind that. I think it's right on the borderline, but I think I'm okay with it. And I actually like her as a character. She's so fucking scrappy, and she gets absolutely fucked up in the course of this show. But she's pretty good.
Once I'm done with my damn video, I'm watching the rest of it. So watched 1 episode. Hasn't engaged me yet, but it's not like terrible. So
Give it till episode 4. I guarantee you'll be bought into it.
Terminator 0 we're talking about, by the way. Shake from Hunger Team. What's up, man? For $10. Happy birthday month to Jay and Chris Gore. Chris Gore.
Oh,
Frank.
Frank, whatever his name is. He's running around in a slave Leia bikini, drinking drinks with like little umbrellas in them, running around Pasadena, frolicking.
Absolutely crushing it in that bikini, by the way.
Yeah. VJ the Vigilant for $4.99. I'm not watching Rings of Power, but I am putting myself through the pain of watching Linkin Park with the new female singer. Save me.
It's not good.
Yeah, that was a downgrade.
I gave her a chance, but damn.
You want to hear a hot take?
You like it?
Do it. No, they sucked before.
There you go.
They've always sucked.
Nah, I disagree with you on
He
that.
did it.
But,
He did it.
They always sucked.
It's fucking terrible. What they're doing right now is awful. It's one thing if they want to just bring someone in, but like to present this person as like, hey, this is Chester's replacement. It's just the presentation of it's bad, and she doesn't sound good at all. So
It was not a good performance.
no,
Yeah,
it
it shouldn't
was
have
not.
been. I don't know. Maybe they should have done like
They should have released
studio.
like, now.
or
Maybe
something.
they
Yeah.
should start a new
Not
band
live.
if their singer dies. You know, that happens.
Yeah, I think that would have been the better thing.
Just start another
Try
band.
and pretend that it's still Linkin
Still,
Park.
yeah. Just go out and do another band.
Yep.
Jesus.
Start a Linkin Park cover band.
Well, New Order. New Order, anyone? So yeah, your singer dies, you start a new band. Yeah, I mean, rest in peace, Chester and everything. I don't want him to be dead.
Chest in peace.
He suicide, right? Was it purposeful or was it accidental?
Shout out to John Podesta.
Did the lead singer of John
never
Podesta? Huh?
Then I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's a
It's
theory.
just, it's just a meme. It's just a meme. Just a meme. Okay. Just a meme.
You don't get too many accidental suicides as well. So
Chat. A lot of the chat's going to know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I know both those names. I just don't know what they are related wise, but it's okay. I don't need to know everything on. Sometimes I want to learn some things on my own. All right.
There's this show called InfoWars that'll fill you in on all of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know who the host is of that. He's a real low key guy, soft spoken guy. So
Really? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Very calm.
Yeah. We should get him on the show sometime.
We should
to help our image.
We should get him back. Yeah, that's a great way. That's like a timeline cleanser for FNT. Bringing back Alex Jones. Let's do it.
Yeah, if we get accused of transphobia, we know who to bring on to balance the scale.
Yep. Gay Carpenter 77 for $10. Chrissy is busy with the baby and can start doing gaming streams. What's your excuse, Gary? Your fans demand Gaming Master Gary. I should
Yes,
start
I played Fears to Fathom the other day. It's a game.
I made a video on my gaming channel about like hand holding in games and like difficulty levels and stuff, and I couldn't resist putting a little bit of like your live stream with Az when you were playing Witcher 3.
Oh yeah.
Warmer,
I was like,
colder,
if you just dump people into a world the size of Witcher 3, it would test even the most seasoned of gamers. And
Yes.
Gary spinning around in a room. Like, no,
You missed the one where it was just X-Ray Girl there and me, and I'm like chasing a goat for 2 fucking hours, dude, and setting Roach on fire. I kept pulling the wrong thing and setting Roach on fire.
And I was on a delay, so I tried helping him. I couldn't because it's like 10 seconds later. I don't know where he is.
No, gaming will return closer to the holidays for sure. Joel Saylor for 20 says, yes, the organic attempt to cancel was a failure. Luckily, due to an anonymous tip, we will soon have the location of the fugitives known as Gary and the Goggles. Jeremy Gez or GGEZ and Ryan Black from the waist down Kinnell. That's actually Jeremy's line.
That's my line.
Yeah.
Fuck
Listen,
him.
I don't know what
That
GGEZ
not
is.
just your line, Jeremy. Before I fucking met you, I was saying that shit.
I don't give a fuck.
Wait a minute.
Granted,
but
you were older than me, but I never heard.
Okay,
heard of you.
everybody
you were
was
also
saying
in a
it.
G Unit, Shane, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
What's wrong with that?
can we pull up that first video of Ryan?
For you, that's weird.
Hi, I'm
Why?
Ryan Kinnell.
That's
I'm a big Star
disappointing.
Wars fan. It's really neat.
You don't even know what I was watching your fucking streams, you boomer.
So
I like that old video that resurfaces of Gary where he's like, in the nerd space, we like to be inclusive. We invite people in.
I saw that the other day.
I still believe that. I still believe nerddom welcomes everybody, and they're the ones who fucking separated it, not me. So fuck 'em.
Hey, listen,
except for
there's no-
fucking furries.
There's no old video clips of me that the people use to make
I know,
fun of me.
right?
There's none. There's none at all.
You gotta hear it. You gotta hear it.
Hail
Oh
1-800
my
thank you. Thank you for
God.
this together. All
Is
right?
this AI?
No.
What's going on, guys? This
Oh,
is Ryan
God.
from RK Outpost. And since my last video, I've had a lot of people ask me,
What were you fucking asking?
what's going on, guys? This is Ryan from RK Outpost. Since my last video, I've had a lot of people ask me,
What were you fucking asking me? What my fucking problem with Filoni is.
Ryan, was that me and you arguing?
voice
Is that what that
will
was? Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was on a gaming stream. And we got into a big argument about Dave Filoni.
You guys don't understand, man. Me and him the other day before Daily, we got in a big fucking fight. Didn't mean to. And I'm like, fuck, it's time to go live. Shut the fuck up. He's like, you shut the fuck up. Fuck you, fuck you. All right, let's go live. And then we went live. We started talking about our topics. Just how it is with me and him. So
it's because you asked me a question that you thought that I would like feel the same way about, and I just said I think that's cringe and gay. And you're like, "What do you mean?" Like, I'm like, "You asked me what I fucking thought."
Unknown for $4.99. Hail the fellowship. There are more of us. Wars. There you go. Trial by fun for £5 British. Hail drinker. Have you watched Mr. In Between? If not, you're welcome.
I have not, I'm afraid. No, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Apparently, it's awesome. Just haven't got around to it. Sorry.
Superfly1234 for $5 says, drinker said I'm a bot. Alrighty then. Beep, bop, boop. Can I get your credit card numbers? JK, love you guys.
Sure, yeah.
Darius White for $10 says, Hail FNT and drinker. The advice I'd give to Disney/Lucasfilm, Amazon, Paramount, and the BBC is the same that my golf instructor gave me. Take a few years off and then quit. Congrats, Drunk 3P on 100K. That's actually good.
That's good advice.
That's great advice for golf. I am excellent at golf. Right, guys?
God, I thought we were never gonna finish this. Jesus.
My hook shot in golf is like unsurpassed.
Drake
Always to the left.
Yeah. Or to the right, or just nowhere near. It's like, I'm all, guys, go ahead.
We still got to wait for you to get done eventually, Gary. Just swing
Dude,
again.
we were supposed to do 18 holes, and we did like, what, 8 or 9?
We did 9 holes in like 3 hours in like the fucking desert.
But it was
heat in
fun.
Vegas.
It was fun.
Well, the problem is Ryan is significantly better than all of us.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he's so
In
Ryan's
general, but also at golf.
Ryan is always miserable, but he's really miserable when he has to sit around and watch like 3 other people that are fucking trash. And he just like he just looks at us like in disgust.
And he
you
doesn't
what I
know
mean?
that the more miserable he looks, the more fun
better
I'm
it is
having.
for us.
And I was playing really well too. Fucking
You were.
like
Yeah, you were.
You were.
I had never played with those clubs before. It was hot as shit. I was waiting on you guys. I shot like 39 on the front 9 or something.
Yeah, it was
I
fucking
was
hot.
playing well.
But that was
No, like,
the course right
Ryan's
outside the
leg-
win, right? So
Yeah.
that was a good
Ryan's
place.
legitimately like
Thanks, George.
good. I told him that he could fucking like you should actually obviously he's an old fart now, but if he was younger and he would have actually tried, I'm not saying he would have been like top tier, but you could have competed.
Yeah, if when I was younger, I would have actually like gotten like a swing coach and fixed my, because I do come over the top a little bit. I just have always done that. If I got that fixed, yeah, I have a lot of just like fucking raw power. So
Yeah, good thing somebody told you to be a
How did you
YouTuber.
get into it?
into golf, my grandpa taught me how to play when I was maybe like probably like 4th or 5th grade. Is when my grandpa first started bringing me out to the course, got me like this little set, and I would tee off from 150 yards out on the par 4s and play with him and stuff like that. And then I worked at a golf course when I got in like middle school, high school. So I just used to play all the time.
I'm just full of raw power.
See, I didn't learn until my 20s,
just
and
go
I
over
just
the top
I
of
didn't
it.
learn until my 20s, and it was just to like bond with my dad. That's all it was, to go out with and hang out with my dad.
Yeah, when I say like I've got way more power than you would think I have when you just look at me. A lot of people, sometimes the biggest dudes in the world, they can't they don't understand accelerating through the ball or downward force on a ball and stuff like that, and they just aren't swinging hard. I swing out of my fucking shoes and I'm able to make contact.
Yeah, well, it's not like how big the muscles are in your arms or whatever. It's like you put your whole
What you do with
body
them.
into it when you swing. So
You got to be
yeah.
flexible. You got to get the club head speed up. Yeah, 100%.
FNT Golf Talk, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Ew.
now we're boring the shit out of you.
Drake Timbershaft for $2. Quarter Black is into half Danish women.
Okay. Hey, it's the super chat. I'm just glad it's a woman.
He's talking about a man.
What's wrong with
Yeah,
that?
that's true.
Could be worse.
That's huge win on a super chat.
Shake from Hunger Team has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Thank you. Drake Timbershaft for $2 says, put a Scotsman in it and make him drunk and gay.
Yes.
Okay.
I can make that happen.
Angelo Lopez for $10. Hey guys, I want to thank Jeremy, Ryan, and Dan Vask for the gay representation to my community. Also, Shad, you're not alone. I stand with Team Edward. Twilight forever. Love you guys.
You ugly.
Team Edward all the way. Jacob.
Exactly. Yep, Team Edward.
Oh, fuck that. Who's the bad guy? Who's the bad guy in it? I'm the team of whoever kills all of them.
I can't bring myself to give a shit about Twilight ever.
The thing is,
so.
Arlo's actually a great villain, and so
It's the one chick is the only reason to watch Twilight. The Alice chick, whatever her name is. Is that
Her
like
name's
the
Alice.
No, is it? Is that it? She's the bad. She's on the bad side.
okay. So no, that's not Alice.
What the
Alice
fuck's her
is one of the
name?
good vampires.
If Steph was here, she'd say it because last time this came up, she reminded me who her name is.
Yeah,
Come
hey,
on,
talking
Chad.
women, can you
Ashley
tell us?
Green. Ashley Green is her name. That's her real life name. I don't remember what her character name is.
Alice
in the movie.
Cullen.
Alice Cullen. Yeah.
No, that's the
is
good
Alice?
vampire.
That's not
Twilight was so
I don't
fucking
know.
bad, it made me like Hunger Games. Okay? I was like, oh.
I think you're referring to Victoria.
No. It's Ashley Green's character, whatever side she's on. I
Oh
don't
my
remember what
God,
side they're on.
I don't care.
Gives a fuck?
She's hot.
I'm loving this
I
conversation.
appreciate that, Jeremy. Ben Gabbard.
A great baseball sequence in Twilight.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh my God.
Ben Gabbard for $10. Wondered if I could get a call out for my dad, Two Shids Gabby. He has been working on a YouTube channel for a bit, a coin collector, and whatever is on his mind. And hello from you would be cool. And it's called Two Shids Gabby. Shout out. Go check it out. It's your dad's channel? I'll go sub. Hang on.
I thought it said two shits. I thought you said two shits. And
That's what I really said. No, I said two sheds. Sheds. Two sheds. Gabby. Is it your Pappy's channel? That's kind of cool. There it is right there.
Pappy.
He's got 5,800 subscribers. Now he's got.
He's doing all right.
Yeah. I have just subbed. That's awesome. Shout out.
Does he just build garden sheds or what?
Yeah. We need more dad channels out there for sure.
Yeah.
Mike Klepfer for $5. Just fired up my computer. My timing is like stainless steel chicken feed. It's impeccable. I'm going to give it to you. That's a dad joke. You better be a dad or that's illegal. Okay. You better have some children. Tom Nolan for 15 Australian dollars. Hail the fellowship. Hail Ryan. I like how he spells hail in this one. Did you notice that, X-Ray Girl? Because there's the A form of hail and then there's the E form of hail that he puts to Ryan. I'm from the same state as Shad, and I want to assure you he is the only one of us who likes Twilight.
That's
Go
good.
the Vicks. That's probably true. Griff Nizzle for $10. Congrats on beating the cancel creeps. Gonna read Hobbit / Lord of the Rings for the first time in nearly 30 years, but never read the Silmarillion. Should I read that before or after? I'd say after.
After, yeah, for
After.
sure.
Or just never.
No.
Oh, nah.
No.
It's not exactly a page turner, let's be honest.
No.
here.
Baron and
It's a
Luthien
slog.
alone is awesome.
But there are
Like, I love
fucking
that
metal
story.
stories in it, and there's like really cool. There's cool shit in it. You're
Well,
right.
just think about it. If you don't read it, you still have a chance to be hired for Amazon for season 3.
Well, a better chance.
Yeah, it's true.
Drake Timbershaft for $5. This is positively the very last time we talk about the Acolyte. I wish.
I hope.
We're trying to put it behind us, okay? Other people keep bringing it up.
Yeah, I'm on to the Rings of Power. Like, goodbye. Like shit. I've only have one Disney Star Wars video left in me for the rest of the year that I've been planning for a couple months. Some of
We
you
know
know
that's
what
bullshit.
it is.
I mean, we know that's bullshit.
Well,
'cause
not
you told me
anymore.
you told me a year ago, you're like, I'm done with Disney Star Wars. They keep giving us too much content, bro. They can't.
My
they can't
first
quit
video
us,
this
all right?
year was a Disney Star Wars video, and I called you. I'm like, that is the last video I thought of you making, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's like 2 years ago. I said I'm done with it, and I did walk away for a while, but I'm glad I came back for the Acolyte. Holy shit!
Just when you think you're out, they
I know
pull
it.
you back in.
I know it. I know it.
I got one more, maybe two, but most likely one, maybe two,
or 4 or 5.
No, the one is coming out while I'm in Peru, so that
I mean,
one's
come
in
on,
the
dude.
works.
Like when the Ray movie comes out, you know you're gonna be.
Yeah, that's not this
you're gonna
year.
be in that.
So,
No, that's true.
oh shit,
You
fuck
gotta
yeah, I'm
invent
gonna
one
do
of
it.
your names for Charmino Bade Chinoy. Like, you're not gonna pass up on that.
Charbino Chade, the Choid, Chamoy.
Shabito Chade my choid.
Making random noises.
Black Cane for $5. I need an hour-long video of Gary and Dave doing ad reads. Garrett, you could make this happen. Do it for the fellowship. Beardo is fat.
What are you trying to do to me?
Should Dave Landau and I have an ad read off?
Oh yeah, it'd be glorious. It would take like 45 minutes.
Awesome. Let's go. Hey, maybe next time I'm a guest, we could just read ads for a half an hour.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
It's the peak of the show, really.
Ad world.
Richard, Richard Throbbin for $10. Here is a bit of charity for your YouTube sins. Just make sure you all stay horny, so that way, if you go to jail
Guaranteed.
for free speech, you can be safe. Best defense is a good offense in jail. No, actually it's not. But okay. TJ Jordan for $5. When I said this was the last time, I lied. The 2015 Cinderella film is the best Disney live action remake. Sorry, not
Good
sorry. I
Lord.
couldn't resist. Jesus. That
Simps, man.
Sound like
Dude,
Shad.
is Cinderella fucking hot in it or something? Like, make it make sense.
Well, she is.
I think it's because it's not woke. Basically, it's stuck
Okay.
to the story of the original movie, and I think it's like distinct from all the other live action remakes where it's not done for a modern audience. They just retold the story.
Wasn't it directed by Kenneth Branagh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than the animation.
It is
okay.
It's far better than the animation.
That is all the time we're going to take to talk about Cinderella. Just ask a simple question: is the chick hot? Yes or no? Thank you.
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
Okay.
Yes.
Charles Wilson
I
the
did, like,
third.
Googling how old was this person when she was in
Charles Wilson the third for 1999. Hail FNT panel. Just want to say thanks to you all for creating entertaining and informative content that includes great lore and critiques. Especially special shout out to Disparu. Love your reviews, and I even started reading Wheel of Time. There you go.
Awesome.
Making fans. Griff Nizzle for $10. Finally, want to give a shout out to Matt Christensen. He's a good dude who got caught up in the Tenet gay op. If you're interested in right of center takes on current events, check out this channel.
I like Matt Christensen. He's pretty good.
Somebody said
Good stuff.
Shatterella.
Johnny Tightlips for $7.99. Australian. I ain't saying nothing, but you just did. Dildo Shaggins for £2 Gary Disparu. Oh wait, sorry.
You did it wrong.
I did it wrong. My bad. Gary Disparu, critical drinker Ryan. There you go.
It's pretty
Beautiful.
good.
Thank you. Jason Yankovic for $10. Everyone, or at least one person, excited for the Netflix Twilight animation coming out? No, there isn't. Fuck off. No.
Can't
Next.
wait.
Jeffrey Adams for $5. If you haven't already, check out Zirin J. Zhao's, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Comments regarding George R. R. Martin and House of the Dragon. She's a good friend and shares fascinating inside info. Hail. Is any of that info wins a winner is done? Because other than that, could give a fuck.
Twilight series officially happening on Netflix. So.
Yep.
We willed it into existence. It's your fault.
What can I say?
Chad.
It's actually from Edward Cullen's perspective, I think. It's based off of that one because
Still don't care.
It's actually more than just.
We're gonna get all of his
Twilight ruined
his,
everything. Every fucking
his
stupid,
minor loving
fucking retarded
thoughts.
thing we're dealing with in genre right now is Twilight's fault. Fuck that book. Fuck that movie. I sat through all three of them because I'm married and I have to be a good husband.
I thought there were four.
Four, whatever.
There's
I slept through the
3
last
books,
one.
4 movies.
Yeah, was
Yeah,
it?
that's what I fucking thought.
I slept through the last
but
one.
Midnight Sun is from Edward's perspective.
Yes,
Don't you get it, Gary?
It's funny though, because like the movie somehow convinced everyone that Kristen Stewart.
So
was
it's the
gonna be
same
a star.
story.
Yeah,
I know, and she was straight. So it's the same story, but from Edward's perspective.
Yeah, and you know, there's another one, another book where their genders are swapped and it's reversed. So Bella is the vampire.
I remember
I can't wait to not read that either.
I remember I went to a Walmart late one night and there was like a line from all the way back to like wherever the section was where it was when the movie came out on DVD or some shit. And so it was all the way from the electronic section and it wrapped all around the store. It was a bunch of fucking teenage girls. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I didn't know what Twilight was.
Dude.
I had no idea. And I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me? They're here for a fucking movie?
There's no doubt that book like flicked the bean of culture at the time. But I mean, like no doubt, but Jesus, fuck.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm fascinated by it, because it gave the audience that everything they wanted, and it is an interesting study.
Okay,
to see
enough.
Why it was
Well, didn't it ultimately lead as well?
It inspired his channel.
50 Shades of Grey as well. Basically
Yes.
just Twilight fan fiction that got turned into its own book.
I'm
can
willing
hate
to-
it, but
I'm willing to watch these movies again and have a discussion with Shad on this show so we can turn Gary into Ryan, because he's slowly turning into Ryan about how Ryan is not everything. That's how Gary is about this right now.
I don't hate Twilight. Like, it's not my thing. It's not like I love it, but I don't hate Twilight.
Let's go. We got Ryan on our side now. Look at Gary. We need Mike here to say point and
Twilight is gayer than 4 guys, fucking 5 guys. Okay, stop. Uncle Danny for $10. I'm just going to read over you. I would like to take this time to welcome the thousands of new subs that the harassment campaign brought in. Jeremy and Gary and Ryan should tweet out a big thank you after they fucking watch Twilight, those two. Your note to the main people responsible. I did. I thank the Access Media for giving us this opportunity to create channels and grow in this space, whatever this fucking space is.
Space.
They created the opportunity because they were lying to us the whole time. So thank you. Thank you all. And yes, we did get new subs. I know Ryan got a bunch of new subs.
Yeah, you're like 2,500 subs in
yeah.
2 days from that.
Wow.
Shout out.
They always lose. They always lose.
And Kristen Stewart was perfectly cast as Bella.
Rye Lion for $9.99. I'm gonna fucking kick you. In honor of the Space Marine 2 coming out, don't miss the Games Workshop. Warhammer released an animation of a female custodian that went on a rampage of blocking people who pointed out that that was not the lore.
Do you guys remember Trump's tweets about Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart? And how he was like
tweeted about
obsessed.
them?
Oh God,
my
he was like, he
God.
should leave her. He's way too good for her. His career will take off if he
Really?
just. Oh yeah, dude. Trump went on some like.
ironically, he was kind of right. Like,
Oh,
his
yeah, he
career
was.
taking off.
No, he
It was after that interview of like them licking each other's armpits or whatever, right?
Ew.
Okay.
Jeremy, you mute.
You're fucking muted too. Fuck you. All right. The singing ticks. Audience, I apologize. I don't apologize
I can
for
unmute
much.
myself, by the way.
Mute him, X-Ray girl. Every time a word comes out of his mouth,
Take him out. Ready?
take him out.
Oh man,
The singing ticks for $5. James Flamer is the number one. What was that? Drinker can talk. You're gonna say something about. Are you gonna betray me? You're gonna put a knife between my shoulder blades and talk about fucking Twilight? Will.
Like at 2 drinker.
At 2. The singing tigs for $5. James Flamer is one of the most disingenuous little shitbags I've ever heard. Props to you and the drinker for surviving. Hail I.199 FNT and the Yarrow girl.
That's right.
Whoa.
IDOT shirts are on 221B Tactical for the SpaceCon meetup, so go check it out.
Thanks to Piers and Paul for having us on again. Shout out to both you guys out there. Thanks. Dave Chandler for $10. Shad, if you were given a battle episode of the Rings of Power to choreograph, what would you do with it? It would be forced, and you'd be forced to work with Guy Ladriel. What would you do with her during these battle scenes?
Oh, she would definitely get killed.
Yes.
Yeah, she would die
the
very
only answer.
quickly. Yep. And I might make Sauron win because they would just destroy everything.
I'm rooting for Sauron at this point. I want him to win.
Yeah.
I want him to cover the world in darkness. Burn it all.
I'm rooting for that one orc with like the family.
Yep.
That he's got to protect.
Quite frankly, he's the only likable character in the entire fucking show. Like, do we need to go like a questioning orc? Yarmoth for $20. Did anyone here watch the Dr. Disrespect return stream? One guy did.
I did.
Any good?
Cliff Notes version.
I really have no idea, man. He says he was trolling the journos when he claimed he had inappropriate messages with a minor. He claimed that he said that to bait them to pick up the story. I ain't buying that.
That's a bold strategy.
That's a very bold.
See how it works out.
Listen, doesn't mean Twitch isn't a piece of shit company and the people that were targeting him. But like, you can watch my video on Geeks and Gamers, and I break down like how I don't believe in Twitch. I don't believe in anything, but it's very confusing, and I don't really understand the logic behind that at all. So yeah.
Well, his argument was, you can be a minor but still above age. That was kind of what he was suggesting.
That's quite the argument right
it's
there.
a terrible, like, no,
He said they
it's a
weren't
terrible
sexy, and he said it was just some inappropriate jokes, maybe, and stuff like that. But I'm really sick of the story in general, to be honest.
Well, hey, dude had almost 250,000 people watching him, so he's relevant as fuck. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
250,000 people
to
are
watch
watching
the
him live.
accident. Yes,
To see the return.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, not
See
even
if it
that. I mean,
lasts.
it's he always has a huge pull, but yeah, 250 is insane.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I'll talk
So
about
yeah,
the
you
Rings
can
of
watch my
Power.
video. You can watch my video on Geeks and Gamers if you want. I break it down over there. So
Yeah, watch his
and
video.
I think I probably have a very unpopular opinion on it at this point in time because it seems like he won over a lot of the internet today.
St. Louis has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for 50. Thank you. Van Daminator 65 for 25 stars says, from the way I heard it described, is it possible that I'm calling him Bomb Tombadil, is a self-insert for Tolkien? I honestly don't know. I know he's a like a story that he published at Oxford. I don't know.
I think Tolkien himself was never entirely clear on what Tom Bombadil's role in the story was. It's like almost like a fever dream that he decided to put him in there.
Well, he answered in one of his letters because someone asked him, "Is he a Luvatar?" and he goes, "No." And I don't really know what he is, and I don't want to give it too much thought. So I think he kind of liked the mystery.
Yeah, he's like the first.
The pipeweed got the best of him.
Yeah, like he's like Tom Bombadil's. Well, I don't. For a man who like thoroughly disliked allegory, I don't think he was putting himself into the story. I could be wrong, but
I think like nature or the earth itself kind of thing is probably the best kind of.
Yeah. At that stage in the story, the hobbits are kind of just running into random encounters of strange magical things. They have the encounter in the Barrow Downs, and then they run into Bombadil and stuff like that. And I think he was just wanting to like flesh out the worlds, showing look how magical and kind of whimsical, strange, and dangerous.
I think he was giving them a kind of like a mini adventure to go on before the real adventure of like getting to like, Rivendell and then taking the ring and then going off to destroy that. Actually, like took effect. So it was like their little trial run for being adventurers, and like they kind of come up short.
Well,
and
it's
Tom
kind
Bombadil actually has to bail them out.
It's kind of how he does some of his stories, where it's never just a straight journey. You always run into something along the way because this is Middle Earth, and so the Hobbit. That's the entire book of the Hobbit is them just trying to travel and all these strange things is going, and so it's just kind of in line with the way that he has a travel adventure tale. That all right, they're going to run into something interesting here. A tree tries to eat them. Hell will save them. A magical kind of whimsical man will come along and have an encounter.
Roddle Eturo Day Shad for Shad or Disparu should know. People saying it's turning of the wheel are wrong. It's just an excuse to cover how bad this show is. Amazon never intended it so.
Yeah. Pissed me off that excuse, because people who love Wheel of Time, they didn't want another interpretation, like a parallel universe interpretation. They wanted the story of the books depicted, but they use that as an excuse to try and say, "Oh, we don't have to do it accurately." This is
doing it
And
accurately
also-
is a lot more work. That's what it is. They just want to avoid the work.
The turning of the wheel would have changed the events, but it wouldn't have changed the magic system and the rules of magic, which it
Yes.
is. So it can't be the same world at all.
Yeah, they bastardized it so bad.
I'll bring you the meat and bring it to you raw, says Meat Pigeon for 10 euros. Jay.
Jay Boy is knackered. Sorry,
Okay.
should have spaced it.
Yeah, I'm like, that looks like a Welsh last name, Jaboyas Knackered for
Just
5
bomb.
British pounds. The funniest lunatics are doing the same thing they claim you guys are doing. Hypocrisy at its dumbest. This is why I'm in the sender. My
Nerdy Home put out a screenshot of a tweet from Molly Damon. She's basically trying to distance herself from the statement, saying, "I had nothing to do with the statement. I was just sharing it." So this is the backpedaling now.
At least have the balls to own it. Like if you fucked up, take the L and like own it. But like to try and pretend like I was never really involved in this in the first place. The internet is forever messy, and you're about to find out that.
Are they getting concerned that they might get repercussions for, because they did do an organized harassment campaign?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
and so
you could almost say that they've opened themselves up for libel lawsuits and stuff. Like you could do all kinds of things to them.
Speaking of the internet being forever, I do have one way to close this Twilight discussion.
Oh God!
Jesus
Christ. $10. So they pulled a "Gamers Are Dead," but really poorly.
No. In October 17th of 2012, Donald J. Trump on Twitter says Robert Pattinson should not take Kristen Stewart back. She cheated on him like a dog and will do it again. Just watch. He can do much better.
God, I missed that.
There we go.
We need that back.
He said she cheated on him like a dog.
You know, dog, meaning Jacob.
Hey, you know what that means? I think Trump is a fan of Twilight.
Health Minister of Belgium for $5. Crapolite fans are 100,000 times more likely to commit an Appalachia or a Uvalde. Okay.
Oof.
Guinea pig with fanny pack for $20. The other day, an old lady and An old lady I work with said I looked like a YouTuber she subscribed to. She showed me her phone, and it was Dan Vask. Now, all I need to do is fuck some guys. Oh, no. Get some musical talent, and I'll be neck deep in geriatric poon. Hail Dan. TJ Jordan for $5. Imagine if someone shared the Wolverine rant scene from Deadpool and Wolverine directly to rewriting Ripley. I don't know. Which one? Guy Incognito for 20 Canadian pesos. Hi, Gary. I heard your channel makes millions of dollars a year. No. But you fired Az for wanting a 25-cent raise. True.
True.
Absolutely
confirmed.
true.
He wasn't worth those 25
And then
cents.
he died. Totally unrelated, by the way. I guess that's how the rich stay rich. Well, that's true. Can I have some money, Daddy Nerd Bucks? Hail the Friday Night Type millionaires. Hey, yeah. All millionaires.
Millionaires,
all of us.
These people are fucking nuts. Not the super chat person. Obviously, they accused us of all being like these. They're all multimillionaires. Just bitching about Star Wars.
Yeah.
If I was a multimillionaire, I wouldn't still be doing YouTube.
You think I'd be sitting there grifting super chats every night if I'm just that? No, I'd be going to Trump rallies in person. But no, I'm sitting here on my shitty computer and my shitty webcam, my shitty mic, in my shitty house.
Hey, speaking
I'd
of
still
Trump,
be here.
if we ever get Trump onto FNT, it is going to be great to talk to him about Twilight because it's clearly,
J-Boy is knackered for 2 British pounds. Given the mindset of writing, she probably watched.
I'm gonna watch Twilight now just to piss Gary off.
Okay.
Do a live stream commentary.
Fuck you, motherfucker. You have all this joy in making everybody watch shitty shit. Fuck you. This is payback.
You don't watch any of it.
Motherfucker.
What the fuck you talking about? Shindo Versus for $9.99. Hail all Friday Night Tights. Amazing intro. A real jam. Glad you guys managed to defend yourselves from being canceled by doing absolutely nothing. Well done. I know. You know what I did? I went to the gym, took a nap, worked on a video, watched some X-Files. I was so upset.
After Rings of Power is over and we have like a week where there's not any big releases or whatever, we should legitimately do a Twilight review.
Yeah, I reckon that was great. We all have to watch it.
Oh my god.
Instant Drinker recommends. Right there.
Agatha is Jaw after Rings of Power.
That's a great idea.
And we all have to have like actual cogent opinions and points of view on why they're doing what they're doing.
It like 8 months ago. I'm not gonna lie. So.
By yourself?
Was it after prompts from Shad all those times?
You have some explaining to do, Ryan.
You can neither confirm nor deny if I was with
This
you.
is his version of checking in.
Yeah, now I'm going to do a wellness check on Ryan. So, fuck
Are
Dan.
you okay? Are you gay?
No. Not after Agatha. Like, give me some fucking time. Maybe like a month. If you want to do it for a joke or something, sure. But Drinker has to come on and watch it too.
Christmas special, I was supposed to say.
Like, instead of making us watch the Doctor Who Christmas queer special, right?
I'm not
Like,
making you do that this year.
One time.
I'm
That
not
was
making.
pretty gay.
I did it once.
Did it once.
Did you do it with QC Gatsby's one? Or what?
Oh, that was a rough fucking Christmas FNT. I had to watch Wonder Woman 1984, and I had to watch the Doctor Who holiday special.
That was Jodie era. Yeah.
That is brutal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it was
what is
like
this fucking trash can. What are these?
no
trash
movies
can
had
robots
come out for
for?
like 9 months. We had nothing for 9 months. It's like, yes, we're
Tenet, right?
yeah.
Tenet
Which no one
wasn't
could
great.
review because no
Sucked.
one could tell what the fuck was going on.
Exactly, dude. Tenet
Movie
is
sucked.
a fucking weird ass movie.
Yeah.
Even the Nolan fanboy here can't even justify that shit. Okay.
Jeff for $5. Have you heard about Neil Gaiman trying to break Bill Cosby's record? Unbelievable. I have, and it's been kind of quiet, and I know why. Neil Gaiman has an amazing publicist team, and he is one of the first comic book creators to ever have one, to have a publicist team, and he has built relationships within publishing for years, and he is one of their boys. Now, some people have come, like, again, innocent until proven guilty. I don't know if any of these allegations are true, but there is a lot building up, and nobody's fucking talking about it. Like, nobody. So, yeah. Innocent until proven guilty, though. We'll see what happens. Dead Boy Detectives got canceled from Netflix, but that's probably because nobody watched it. We'll see what happens to The Sandman. We'll see what happens. I think he got a Marvel project canceled, too, quietly. But, again, I don't know. I think 6 or 7 women have come out against him over time. I don't really want to say what I know from the comic book days back in the day because it's just pure conjecture and rumor. So I don't want to say anything. But, yeah, like, Neil Gaiman's going through some trouble right now. I don't know if you guys have heard at all.
No.
I heard the Netflix thing just got canceled yesterday or whatever.
Yeah, there's been
Spacey's law. Spacey's law. If he just comes out as gay, he'll be okay.
There's been some accusations. We don't know if they're true. We just don't know. Okay, so
Gary, just before you go on with the next super chat, unfortunately, I'm about out of time.
Dude, thank you for hanging this long. I appreciate you.
No,
You're
it's
awesome.
been awesome to be here. I love coming on FNT. Thank you for having me back again for this. It has been great stuff.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you.
Come back and read tweets anytime.
No, come
like
back
you
for
did.
the Twilight
I want to come
review.
back and watch Twilight with you guys.
All right. All right, fine. You know, do a poll, X-Ray Girl.
The calendar.
Do a poll.
Gary's
Well,
so fucking mad.
I'll get you all for this. I will remember this, and I'll get you fucking all for this. Take it easy, Will. Subscribe to the Critical Drinker.
Yeah.
We watched 3 episodes last week.
Bye, Drinker.
Later,
Catch
Drinker.
later,
Have a
guys.
good one, bro.
Later.
Later.
Critical Drinker.
I like how a super chat directed at Shad to try to get Drinker to go in on him on Cinderella led to all that bullshit
That
right
was
there.
wonderful. That's wonderful. And Drinker agreed with me as well. That's wonderful.
I know they call us bigots, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of gay boys who want to talk about Twilight and Cinderella for 2 hours.
Twilight is less gay than Doctor Who.
I think before next episode,
now,
no
yes, I'll agree
Twilight
with
talk.
that.
Maybe we can get Stephanie Meyer on FNT.
Hey,
Ooh.
let's go.
Big fans. Big fans.
For $10.
You're all going to be Team Alice when it's all said and done, though. You're all going to agree with me on
I
that
am
one, okay?
Team Suicide right now if we keep talking about it.
We team the rope.
Oh my god.
We all know this group is too retarded to get shows canceled. It was the Russians who did it. Now, I'm not going to argue with that. We are retarded. Gollum's half-botched circumcision leftover for 10,000 fucking Martian pesos. Hi! It just says hi. The Critical Catastrophe for $10. I don't think those cancel pigs are smart enough to realize that they succeeded in canceling you and your channels. All that would happen is someone else would replace you. Yep.
That's it.
Exactly.
They will not replace us.
You can't stop the signal.
Can't stop the signal. TJ Jordan for $2. The new trailer for Arcane Season 2 has me hyped. It looks pretty good. I've watched the first half of the season, and I like it. I like it. Joseph for Brave for $10. Keep fighting the good fight. We are proud to be a part of this wonderful fellowship. Thank you. Proud to have you. Burn for $5. It's Kami 101. They are making a Vanguard group to fight their battles and push the party line when they bring in the shields. The one guy for $10. We missed out on season 2 of The Acolyte, Plagueis, and the casting couch. Jabba comes out looking pretty good in this story. There you go. PJ, he was in the, well, no, it wasn't Jabba. Well, who was in the first Clone Wars? It was the female?
Jiro the Hutt?
Yeah. I watched it in theater, never watched it again.
And what's
But-
Jabba's baby's name?
The movie? You talking about the Clone Wars movie?
Yeah.
What's the fucking
sucks.
baby's name?
It's terrible.
Rhoda?
Might be Rhoda, yeah.
PJ for $29.99 PLNs. I don't know why I'm watching you guys besides Star Trek. I don't even like comics, Star Wars, Marvel, etc. But damn, I love this content. Keep it up. Cheers. That's awesome. That's awesome. WG for $10. What's up? When Ryan attempts not to be a misogynistic, No Juan has more respect for women than I do. No Juan, like Juan, the name Juan. Shindo versus for $4.99. It's pretty funny how these people want you guys canceled into platform, but keep giving you content to upload to your platforms. Yeah, it's pretty funny when they @team YouTube with the TOS violation that they're making. That's fucking funny. That was my favorite part.
Like we were kind of all acolyted out, like everybody had responded that was going to, and then they gave us a couple more days worth of content of acolyte content. So,
well, first it was okay.
Shout out Disney Star Wars fans.
It was dying out during the season after the 3rd episode. Then Amandla does her diss track, and then the season finishes. It was dying out, and then they fucking cancel it. Then after that, it was dying out. Then Amandla makes another fucking video, and then these fucking idiots come across. So like, yeah, it's
Don't
your
forget
own
the
doing.
petition. They did the petition as well. They just keep on trying to bring it back up.
Rukami for 10 British pounds. Kathleen Kennedy, George Lucas's tea lady, coffee lady. Angry Shellback for $2. Follow up Laser Blast. I liked Laser Blast. It's a weird movie. I got a weird story, but we don't have to. I'll tell it in the Rumble Hour. WG gifted. Remind me to tell the Laser Blast story. Okay. Gifted 6 Nerdrotic memberships for $30. Thank you. Boomer for $5. What do y'all think of the Lauren Chen, Benny Johnson scenario? I know nothing about it.
I'll talk about it tonight on CobraCast.
Yeah, you'll talk about it tonight on CobraCast.
I've talked about it a few times already on CobraCast, so I've got some more stuff I'm going to discuss tonight. And I'm going to leave right now because I got CobraCast tonight. So hail to the chat, hail Twilight fans. We are going to bring everybody together, and Gary is going to love us for it. So Team Alice. See you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Yo.
Gotcha, Jeremy.
My thing is one, like first off the bat, I see a lot of people immediately taking Biden Department of Justice statements as fact, like right off the bat, when I know a lot of people wouldn't normally do that. It's also an indictment against people that I think are in Russia right now, not an official indictment against Lauren. According to what they said, all of the people involved in Tenet Media they were just literally just making their content. I would be personally shocked if all this stuff is true. Like I really would be.
I would be too.
Before, and I've spent time with her and her family a little bit outside at some of these meetup things. I would personally be shocked if all of that was true.
Yep.
I think that for YouTube to, and I think we're all assuming it was YouTube and maybe they didn't deactivate it themselves. I don't know. But for the channel to just be gone after an indictment against other people before any charges are filed against her or anyone else, I think that's crazy. Again, we'll see how it all plays out. But I do see a lot of people who would normally not believe anything coming out of the Biden DOJ automatically assuming that this story, which looks really bad for some people and really helps out Kamala, I see a lot of people automatically buying that.
Yep.
So, I just think that if a nation wants to harm America, there are far better people that you would support who would push far worse ideas than Lauren Chen ever did.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert on it. I've listened to some of the commentary around it, and it feels like it's getting really blown out of proportion. Like one of the things is that because this Russian investment company didn't register something, and that there's some technical detail, something happening there, and so.
Yeah,
Also,
I just sow division, and by doing so, you sow division. It's almost like you're doing exactly what they want.
Yeah, whatever I've seen on Twitter is I don't know shit. I know Benny. I've met Tim Pool, and I don't think for one fucking second they would take a dime of Russian money, but that's it. And I trust the DOJ about as much. I trust the DOJ about as much as I trust the Russians.
Yeah, or put out opinions that were like fed to them by somebody.
Yeah, no.
The reason these people were brought on, Tim, Benny, Taylor, I've spent time hanging out with Taylor before. They were literally just brought on there and told, like, you're here for your stuff. Like, we want you to say what you're saying.
I don't know the ins and outs, though.
It wasn't like talking points or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's a complicated situation. And I would be shocked if the things that are being alleged in that indictment in terms of some people having any idea what was going on with this, I'd be shocked if that was true.
Dildo Shaggins for 5 British pounds. Gary, you said the challenging socialists and communists shatter their souls. They have no souls. I'm ginger, so I know soulless people when I see them. Yes, that is true. You would. I just meant personality. Souls, personality, worldview. Bob Loblo for $9.99 just looked at the comments on Rewriting Ripley, and all of them are in full support of the fellowship. This has fallen flat in their face. We are winning, and it makes them crazy. Hail. That's why they lashed out. Yeah, you guys fucking slapped them down. Again. I mean, they basically just copy and pasted the shit from 3 years ago. Like they did not a ton of new work. I'll just leave it at that. I could elaborate, but I won't. Stormbringer gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Hail. Drake Timbershaft for $5. Boromir takes the Urukai, gets run through with arrows. Guy Ladriel takes on orcs, gets split ends. Yeah. Simon Ho for 2 Canadian pesos. Leslie knew because she was allowed to watch. There you go. Aperture Science Innovator for $20. Longtime listener, first time super chat. FNT has been refreshing like a spring rain over the bones of a dead animal. I found you all during season 1 of Rings of Power, and you do Tolkien proud. Stand strong, fight on. Hail Gary, hail FNT, hail. You know, it's been a year since we were in the UK, Chad.
Yeah.
Oh man, I miss it.
It was such a great time, man. That was
a good time, man.
I still remember when Shad came out of the pub in his full gear, and I'm like, I went to the pub in the same taxi as you, and you were just in normal clothes, and then you walk out in like full invasion gear.
Yeah.
The Australians have come to take revenge.
It's a bit like Superman. I just wear it under my clothes, and I'm ready to go anytime.
Right? That was a good time. We went to go see the professor's grave. We went to Oxford. We went to Bath.
Yeah, Chippy Norton and
Chippy Norton. We signed the wall at Jeremy's cafe at Clarkson's farm.
And I treasure those antique books we got, man.
And that bookstore in Chippy Norton is
great.
I do too. I can't wait to go back. So
Still pissed off you got that book, by the way.
damn straight. It's in my bookshelf. I'd have fought for that thing.
Which book was it?
It's a book from the late 1800s about medieval architecture, and everything was like, I mean, it was pretty. It's got
beautiful
hand
illustrations
drawings.
and
Like it was so, and it was like $70. It was like 70 pounds, so it was like $100.
Nice.
Yeah, and the old guy in there, Rennet, was like the sweetest old guy. Just loved the books and knew what we wanted, and like it was a proper British experience, man. It was fucking
really
cool.
was.
Did I read this? Yeah, I did. JJ Chill Dogs for $1.99. There's no such thing as explosive tip arrows. And Tolkien. No.
Outside of Rambo.
Yeah. Ruthie Amigo for 250 Martian pesos. Hello, all. May I suggest watching The Legend of Vox Machina? Is it
Vox Machina?
Machina on Prime.
Yeah, it's on Prime.
As a palate cleanser for the Rings of Power. You love One Piece, Gary. I think you'll like this one. It's an animated series based on the actual D&D campaign.
It's based off of the Critical Role group of people, and I don't know. I've never gotten into them, and so
yeah, I'm not a big fan of theirs. Yeah. Colonel Rove for $10. Hail FNT. While it is fun watching the woke media machine burn down, never forget the government currently is trying to turn the country into a gay version of the Soviet Union. Never surrendered. They are. I would say the Soviet Union was pretty gay too, in the sense that it's fucking lame. But Gory-Eyed Beast for 5 Canadian pesos. Why would flogging Tolkien's lore? Why keep flogging Tolkien's lore like a Catholic masturbator? Didn't the werewolf from the True Blood want to make a live-action Dragonlance? Where's that? I'm not sure. True Blood ended like shit. I like that show.
As Games Radar's title recently says, The Rings of Power doesn't need to stick to canon. It honors Tolkien by expanding it.
what a contradictory
Fuck off.
statement. Like
21.
We'll honor it by
Palika
bastardizing it. Oh,
has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Thank you very much. Shannon A. Henner for $5. Please consider this an official petition to get Johnny Law on the to talk the Rings of Power. We've already discussed it prior to the show, so I don't know if he watches. But Johnny Law is a good channel. Go check it out. Go check it out. But yeah, we've
been watching him since like Velma and the first Rings of Power.
Okay. If he wants to come on, we'll be happy to bring him on during the Rings of Power. X-Ray Girl's on it. Right? Right. Samuel Ayrton for $19.99. Fans, how about you use 003 or 008 and instead of making Bond a woman, make a new character and an extended universe? Hollywood, make 007 a woman and call all males fans sexist pigs. Yeah, that's what we will do. A lot of people had suggested that. I think if we checked out other 00s, as long as you didn't fuck with the Bond mythos, totally fine with it.
They already have. They've ruined him. And so...
Yes. But yeah, James Bond being gay, like I said on Piers, go ahead. I fucking dare you. Make it, please. I want you to make, you know what? That all-female Avengers that was making the rounds on Twitter, make that. Make A-Force. I want it. Please make these things. Make the Rey movie. I'm dying for this shit because it will it will be the same result as the Marvels and the Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty easy to predict at this point. Jacob Jazz for £5 British. My friend will let me touch her knockers if I can get one of you to admit the Acolyte is the best show of the last 20 years. Help a bro out. No, you know what? We all had to work at
we gotta work to touch tits.
Touch
Find
tits.
a better pair.
Yeah,
And they're also
no fucking shortcuts for you, pal. No, you got to do what we did.
Dude, we have standards as well. There are some lines we won't cross. And saying that unironically about Acolyte, that's
now, I want to help a bro out.
For me to get fucked, well, it's a different story.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask something more reasonable, I'll help you out. But
yeah, can I touch them? Like,
oh my god.
You can actually just edit this video as if we said it.
Sure.
Right there.
Actually, just have her DM me, and I'll get back to you if I want to hold up to my end of the agreement. It's going to depend on the produce there. So.
St. Louis it's gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for 50. Hail. Paul Stranby for $9.99. Hail FNT. Just joined the channel after the mob tried to demonetize you. Oh, thank you. Keep fighting up. You have the right to speak. Vets like me fought hard so we could all speak when we want. And thank you for doing that. Appreciate you. And all the ones who sacrificed. All the people who sacrificed so we could talk shit about Star Wars, which apparently is verboten now. Again, for the 50th time. Zodlander for 50 Swedish krona. When watching season 1, I was saying, I suspect the stranger is Saruman on a redemption arc before he does anything wrong. This is how dumb it is. I completely agree. They could still pull a twist and say, it's Saruman, although we were dropping Gandalf's, the Grand Elf.
Look how clever we are. We're so clever.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, get
the Grand Elf thing, I just could not.
After the Acolyte, where people were saying, no, the stranger has to be somebody else because it's too obvious to be Khmer, and then it just happened to be him, I'd know. I don't think...
They're not, yeah.
The thing that pissed me off the most on the first watch was a musical cue when Tom Bombadil come in and Bear McCreary fucking ripped off the Hobbit, the Hobbiton theme.
Yeah.
I fucking lost my shit. I'm like, these fuckers are ripping off music now. Like, they're just ripping off everything. Radical Free Think for $10. You guys inspired me to start my own YouTube channel. I hope to be on FNT one day. So far, I've covered the new Rings of Power, RDJ, Dr. Doom news. Check out, and hopefully I can make you laugh and a bit. Hail FNT. And it's Radical Free Think. Radical Free Think. Go check it out.
Well, apparently, if you make a video about Twilight, you may get into good
Jesus
graces.
Davili has gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership for $5. Thank you.
Twilight.
WG for $20. Morfid Clark couldn't girl boss a jar open, let alone pull an action scene.
She can't get on a horse without steps.
Nope. Trebling Lavandus for $2. Get a couple of midgets to comment on Snow White. I commented it on Pierce.
Well, we have comics division.
Yeah, but he's not here right now. Where's Drunk 3PO?
He's
probably
famous now.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You want to talk about the terrible things that these Acolyte fans have brought into existence by trying to cancel us?
Yeah.
We got Drunk 3PO to 100K.
Like, what the fuck? Manny, thank you for the $20. At least he'll shut the fuck up about it now. Okay. And then when he gets to 200K in the year 2199, sure, I forgot what year it was, by the way. Sorry.
You didn't even need to know what year it was.
Yeah,
you were picking a future.
The year 3000.
52.
In the year 3000. Remember that from Conan?
3000.
Those were good. Your boy Forgoth for £5 British. Dan Galf's lightning deflection will also reverse conversion therapy to the wizard, turning him into Saruman, spelled with an X, of many colors. Yes. Maybe they're waiting to bring in the Saruman of many colors. Maybe that's what they're going to do.
The rainbow.
Well, it is a rainbow. He does have a rainbow cloak. He does in the books. Saruman of many colors. 2 penny puppet for $9.99. I find it impossible to believe any fine young lady got anywhere close to Harvey without first servicing the lesbian who controlled the office door. Oh, Francisco Santos. Do you like saying Francisco? It's just fun to say. Francisco. First time super chat. The only good thing coming from Rings of Powers is me getting Professor Tolkien's collected works to read. Yes, that's what's been coming out of it. A lot of people have been reading it. That's fantastic. I think I've got another good clip. I was really proud of my O-Face Sauron clip in my video. I even shared it to Muller. I'm like, look what I did. This is my best work. This is my best work. But I've got one that's not quite as good, but rivals it. I don't know if Garrett can pull it off. Have you seen it yet, Garrett?
I've already made it. I was making it while we were on the show.
I was fucking laughing my ass off for that one. So we'll see if it works. Can't wait for you to see it. Grimmeth for 20 Canadian pesos. Idea for a good Star Wars show. Take the class stories from Star Wars.
The Old Republic.
The Old Republic. Thank you. Swartar. Is that what you guys call it? Is that what you kids are calling it?
I call it SWOTOR.
SWOTOR and KOTOR and KOTOR, whatever the fuck.
Hey,
there's a thing called Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the
good.
Jedi. I'm sure it is, actually. Combine them with certain parts, focus on the individual characters. It ends with them killing Vitiate? Vitiate. Okay.
Emperor
Vitiate. Just get good writers to do it. Obviously, I played that game, but I forgot. Diane Martin has gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership for $5. Thank you. Oh, my God.
Conexal Parata?
Okay, thank you for 1 Nerdrotic. No, that sounded way better than I was going to come up with. It's gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership for $5. Thank you. Here's the man right here. Been killing it on Twitter. Fucking smacking people down. Hi, King Fanor. Alpha Chad of Middle Earth for 20. Galadriel spent her time in the Second Age being a mother, wife, and advisor. Celeborn stayed behind to fight against Sauron's forces that were attacking Eregion at the sack of Eregion, while Galadriel and Celebrian traveled through Moria. Yes. So obviously that's not going to happen, but please tell me that they're sticking to the lore. They're being true to the lore.
Oh, they're going to have Galadriel lead the charge in these scenes.
She's too busy bickering with her grandson-in-law the whole fucking time because Elrond marries her daughter, her son-in-law.
What if she falls down a cave and fights a Balrog?
Don't give him ideas
Dude.
now, Disparu.
I hope so, man.
There's a Balrog. There's a Balrog in the trailer.
That is still going to happen at some point. We know that it's down there still with all the mithril. So it's going to happen.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That was the longest pause.
No, I'm sorry. I was doing something. I was thinking while I'm doing something, these 6 other people here might be able to talk for a second.
It was a collective sigh that we just experienced. It was
Okay.
oh gosh.
Anytime I hear a nice void, I'd like to just let it sit there for a little bit.
Yeah.
I had to jump in.
After all the fucking Twilight talk, yeah.
Yeah, you're just waiting for him to get into the lore of Edward, where he came from, his past.
Fuck off.
He hasn't really
All the
used
miners
his
he
past,
Raised by wolves for
assaulted
$10.
before
He
Bella or whatever.
he kind of was a bit of a superhero at one point. in his
Raised
life.
by raised
And
by
I'm the girl here.
raised by wolves for $10. A seal derp. A seal derp. That's what he is.
Wolves, you say?
Wolves. Shut up. Question mark
Shut
for $10.
up.
Women don't need force to be powerful. Look up Kazuko Higa and the
Anatahan.
Suzuki
Island
Toyota Anatahan Island Incident Kawasaki. Okay.
Fluent.
The singing takes for $2. Jeremy wears Crocs to show his feet off at gay clubs. This is true. When he rides his his seatless unicycle to the gay bar. David Chandler for $10. Does anyone believe the girl boss era of pop culture is finally running out of steam? I do. Yes, I do. I think when actresses feel safe to even call it out, like Jenna Ortega did briefly, I know the woke brigades are never going to let up, but the public seems to be caught on and they are rejecting. Yeah, like don't ever expect, what we want is a balance struck, right? There's always been entertainment with the message and stuff, but as far as being coercive within like intellectual properties and like companies who spend billions of dollars to buy a built-in audience for say like Star Wars, and then the first thing they do is, piss off the fans and fuck up their hero. Those days are probably dying. And now that you have two of the biggest IPs like left wondering what the fuck we're going to do, which is Star Wars and Marvel right now. Marvel's got a lot of fucking work to do. They can stop the bleeding, but they'll never, ever be what they were. And they need to understand that.
And that's kind of an insane standard, like
It
in all
is.
reality. This was for a decade of building. And it's not like there were some really great movies. Not all of them were great, right? But a lot of them were very solid. We really cared about the characters. A decade of kind of growing with them. You're never going to reach those type of heights again. And it's not really realistic to expect you can. But you can still put out shit that people really, really like. You can still be incredibly financially successful. You can still get people back as long as you're telling stories that people care about instead of just focusing on checking the boxes.
Josh Kelsey has dropped 20. Thank you very much. That's what he does. Normal man for 20 Canadian pesos. Riding in the Rings of Power should be considered a war crime. Every rider of the Rings of Power should be banned from being within 10 miles of a computer, paper pens, and other riders. F this show. Yes, they are the danger to society. Larry for $20. Made you look. Gand is Old Norse for wand or staff. Yes, that's how Gandalf's name is derived from Old Norse, but it's not within the lore of the show. It's in the lore of the show, but it's not really within that word is in the lore of the books. Now, it's also derived, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, from a dwarvish word that means kind of the same thing, but I'm going off of memory, which is iffy.
I just want him to pick up a twig and go, look, I've got a Gand elf. That's all I want.
Now, a
It's just like,
Tolkien,
"That's my name."
I got to be clear, a Tolkien dwarven word, not like a mythology dwarven word. But yes, it's magic staff and elf or something. Yeah. Wyatt Holiday for $9.99. Do you think the DNC wishes that Kamala Harris could get a TMC piercing? She's fumbling their coup d'etat. I don't know. I think they served her up to lose. And if she won, great. But I think they served her up to lose.
Yeah. Or to test the power of the media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they're going to it was a definitely, let's see what happens.
It has, to some extent, it has worked, right? She's completely unlikable. They're going to hide her from everyone. But some of the baggage that is directly connected to Biden, they have been able to distance themselves somehow, some way, right? There are enough dumb people in the world that are like, well, Biden was president. She was vice president, but that's not directly attached to her. It's done what they wanted to do. They have a better chance now than they did before.
Yeah. Which was
But
not
they
good.
certainly weren't going to use one of the people that they think could be a star in the Democratic Party in the
No,
next few
not this
years
year.
to go up against Trump.
No, absolutely. Norm Al Mann for 20 Canadian pesos. I wish we could take the RLP writers and directors on a stroll through an old forest. Maybe let them take a rest right next to a willow tree, an old man willow tree by the river. And it would be nice to hike. Hike nothing would go wrong. Gary knows what I mean. Absolutely. Just take them there. And keep Tom Bombadil very busy. Very busy. Jackson Cagle has I almost say grifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. That's it. The show is over on YouTube. Thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who supported us here on YouTube. Thanks to everyone who supported us all across the internet during the latest cancellation. The fellowship is strong, and the 199 and the iDots and everybody out there. We really appreciate you. This we are not worthy, man. You guys are awesome. We freaking love you. We love this space, and we hope to continue doing the same fucking thing for a long time. Thanks to the Modrotics, and if you want to join us over on Rumble, you can do that right now. Ciao, Bella.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Do not come. do not come.
I'm gonna come.